come on back up. Just request back up, everybody. Everybody just request back up. I'm gonna bring y'all all back up. But we got to get our own platform, y'all. We speak way too much truth for TikTok.
Yeah, that's true. That.
We speak way
too
much truth.
The ill part is that it's all being exposed, right? So my thing that is the same thing that I present. I don't shoot Hollywood with too much of an accountability towards morality, because they've already showed that from the jump and the way that they started off, everything was for sale. Potentially anything was for sale when it came to Hollywood. So it's like, okay, you can't really shoot too much morality to that. It's more along to the line of those who are the viewers and the spectators. Once they learn of just how dirty the game is and just how, shall we say, Corey Feldman, you feel me?
Yeah.
How Corey Feldman, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, because he's been exposing it for a long time.
It's a PDF file ring. It's a PDF file ring. That's what it is. That's why I tell people that don't put your kids in Hollywood. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And you, if you're gonna do it, you be their manager. You watch them, and you turn things down, and you control that career. You don't let them control your kid's career. You control their career. Don't be letting them.
Yo, but check it out. When people put their children, right? When people put their talented children on social media, when you read the comments, what are all the comments saying? Oh my God, they got to be on TV. Get them out to Hollywood. They're supposed to be a star, and this, and that. How do you think all that starts? Why would? Well, you know what's going to happen. Look, Bow Wow done said it. I mean, all them. My bad. We ain't gonna drop no names, but you know what I'm saying? Hollywood is under. Yeah, Hollywood is under. Is for some reason, I don't know why now. Shout out to the Cat in the Hat. It's under big exposure, but people are still interacting with it as if there is as if the producers, who everybody pretty much know the producers are scandalous, the way that they rock, right? Rule number 4080, Q-Tip taught us that record company people are shady. All right. Why was he saying they're shady? Like you said earlier, Too Much, they all on something. The Cat in the Hat exposed. Yeah, you be doing movies and you don't know somebody. Yeah, we're going to do the movie and do a line right there in front of you.
Right there. So I just bump so I can do better in this role. You know, they just act. They do it so casually. Y'all don't understand. Yeah. They do it in front of your face on purpose and make you think this is normal.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you might think it's the star. It's not the star. It's the talent scouts.
Yeah.
It's the talent scouts even coming in.
Yeah, they have handlers. Those are handlers.
Yep.
Listen, y'all. When I say the agency, y'all know what I'm talking about. When I say the agency, right? The three-letter crew. Okay,
right.
They're all involved. Okay, they're all involved. Their job is to Epstein you, so they can control you.
And that's part of the problem, right? Too much. That's part of the problem, because that's who we're calling the gatekeepers. And the same thing with politicians. And this is why we have that issue. You know what I mean? Because they're going to rock with whatever they're doing. If you've seen in this last with the election, it did no. I don't know what the percentage. I don't know what the percentage is, but it seemed like every celebrity was for the other side. Like every last one of them. Like it didn't make sense. So this is what I mean by the gatekeeping, and that's why we're always going to be separated, because you got people like that we think is with us but ain't with us. They got their own agenda.
Could we say that a lot of these people operating as celebrities, even though they may actually be FBA, could it be that they're actually acting against FBA interests as well? And you know what I'm saying, there needs to be some form of a cultural accountability subcommittee for them as well. You know what I'm saying? Because they tend to just, as far as I'm concerned, somebody said it yesterday, I forget the brother's name. He spoke of like the Kaepernick situation. where all the other football players, all they had to do was take a knee, right? Nobody was asking them for money. You know what I'm saying? They yoked up, all muscle, all this, rah, but you can't even take a fellow knee. You know what I'm saying? With your brother who's doing it on behalf of your community, right? That showed you that when it comes to a cultural connectivity, this is something that I've been asking for a long time. What is being black or belonging to being black supposed to mean for us? And what is it that the United States and pilgrims ain't never wanted to mean for us?
No, that situation was crazy. I think we got scammed in that situation too. That one that you were speaking about, because both Jay and him both got paid off it, and then you didn't hear from him for a long time, and then he came back out. So that's what I mean. Like you can't even trust nobody, because even though it seemed like it was a good cause, I seen that a mile away, because both of them got paid. That's the part that people ain't even realizing. They got paid out of that situation. They created a situation, got us all looking at it, and they got paid. And he, like I said, he disappeared, and everybody's looking at him as one of those figures. But I feel like we got scammed in that situation once again.
But
the worst part is, like, it's too
for people to stop watching football, right? For people to stop watching it, and the reason why they stopped watching it, you got to ask yourself, well, what is the reason that they picked it back up? What happened with for whatever was the reason that they selected, said this is the way that I'm going to protest? It was just unto a certain duration where you have that type of integrity, where you're beholden to that cultural, I guess, appreciation and principle, only for a time period, just for a little bit, just like when Nip got taken out, everybody was mourning. It was Meek Mills who said, "All right, y'all, let's get back to it." Like, nah, wait a minute, this is something that needs to be opened up by the people. It ain't get back to what, making all that, red rum music for all these devil ass pilgrims.
This is what you got to be careful about. The overly radicalized brothers, the brothers that want violence now. They say some weird stuff like, we got to kill all the white, we got to unalive all the YTE. When they start talking like that, start looking at them like they're suspects. When they start the overly radicalized brothers in the group, get them up out of mischief, because those are agents. Those are agents. I think it was Tupac Shakur's mom, right? One thing that got her from doing some major time was they had this one dude in the group that was always talking about doing some radical stuff, and that was the freaking police. And they were like, that's not us talking like that. That's your guy. Your guy was the one talking like that. We wasn't really on that until he came up in there and was trying to move the movement that way. So you got to be careful of these sleeper cells in your midst. You're being infiltrated. You're being infiltrated every turn. So you got to be careful when you hear brothers start. Like we had a brother up here that was claiming 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐺𝐶, who everybody was questioning, is he really 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐺𝐶? But he was talking about, we got to go to WAR. We got to stand. We got to do this. No, brother. We don't televise that. We don't talk about that.
Right.
What's understood doesn't need to be said. You got to go. And I would drop that brother every time, but I allowed him to speak because I wanted the family to hear. I want y'all to pick up on who are the agent provocateurs. Who are the ones coming in, detouring the conversation and making it about them? Who are the ones up here caping hard for the Democratic Party? I want y'all to see it. These are agents in our midst. These are agent provocateurs. These are shields. These are sleeper cells. They have an agenda, and they've been around us the whole time. A lot of y'all grew up with people that y'all don't even know ain't from our lineage, but you think they are. But when they go home, they're eating jollof rice.
And what your parents always told you, use your gut feeling. Your gut gonna tell you something. Your heart is something in us we know, but we deteriorate from it. It's there.
You got two brains. You got two brains, people. Use
That's
them.
it.
You got a brain up here, and you got your gut. Your intestines is an actual brain. Its job is to discern what food is good and what food is bad. When you get that gut feeling that comes from your gut, that's your discernment working, saying, hey, something's off here. And you need to slow down, and you need to pay attention, and then you need to use this intellect up here and translate what your gut is trying to tell you. When I got shot, all the indicators came off that you are not supposed to be here. What are you doing here? But I ignored it. I ignored it. My dad tried to tell me, watch your associations, and you can't help everybody. I learned the hard way. Experience is not the best teacher, y'all, because experience can unalive you. You need to learn. You need to pay attention to the signs that the Most High give you, and pay attention to your parents, because they don't want to. You know, a lot of times as kids, we don't realize what our parents were saying was right until we're grown, until we're of adult age. But but the Most High says, honor your father and your mother, and your days will be long, because they're put here to guide you and teach you and raise you up the right way. A lot of times we try to go off and do things on our own, and we think, I got this, no. I don't believe in kicking kids out the house at 18. Keep your kids at home until they're 30 or until they're able to take care of themselves, until they got their money up. Make sure you put your kids on a savings plan. Make sure you help them manage their money that they're getting. Like, hey, you need to put aside $1,000 every single month, like clockwork. Minimum $1,000 a month. Make them pay a little bit of small rent, a little bit of bills when they stay at home, but make sure they're saving money too, because they're gonna need that. Start giving your kids a leg up and stop having them suffer. Stop having them suffer. Give them the real game. The game that the other communities are giving their kids. Give them that game so that they can survive out here and fend against the wolves out here.
I think that's the issue that we run into, though, because for those of us who wasn't, I think this is why they say when the house, you know, when your home doesn't raise you, the block will. It was the block. Also, I did have people in my family that was in the game, took me on the wing. So, but it was them who gave you, who gave you, we'll say, the harsh navigations, if you will, right? It's supposed to be a cultural standard. You would think that it would become a cultural standard amongst Black people to educate their children, their youth, about the society that they're in. Not necessarily just give them the game, but just give us the entire reel, you know, of what it is that we've been dealing with as a people. Especially, we're going to be thrusted into one of the most harsh conditionings of a social conditioning of a people.
Brother, I would only counter that. I would only counter that by saying that our mothers and fathers of the Gen X, they didn't know how to translate into today's world. They were a bridge to today's world.
When you say
well,
you're talking about
the emotional,
the current mothers and fathers, or the mothers and fathers of the Gen X?
The mothers and fathers of Gen X didn't know how to teach and or translate those financial debts, the financial lessons, the social lessons, the pressures that they were being relieved of were, please stop unaliving us in churches and our little girls. Let's keep them, please. Can we go and worship in peace? See, that's where their issue was. The idea of trying to get financially set was beyond them to give that down to their families. However, the 70s and 80s DRUG problem that infiltrated our community devastated
chemical warfare.
Thank you. Devastated those further scholars that could have given that information and passed it down. And that's where we are today, because you said it before. This is a new square. We own this square. We realize we may have come up short in a couple of places last week. But you know what? Today is a new one. And we're going to set this one and move forward. We're not going back. How that kind of
let's say
make
they couldn't give us protocol. Let's say they couldn't give us actual strategy, which you actually did have some elements of the Black community that was working like that, but Black people didn't want to ascribe to that largely. We're talking about the whole Pan-Africanism or the conscious communityism. That was present, and they were talking about finances. You did have them giving game otherwise, but Black people thought that that took them away from being an American. And the style of American that Black people seem like they want to be is whatever these pilgrims said was permissible. Because to me, as a child, that's what it looked like. It looked like the type of Black person that Black people was trying to be was the Black person that was authorized by white America, not the Black person that was authorized by white America, not the.
I can agree with that, but what I'm saying is, again, from their perspective, their whole thing and what they told their kids was try not to get destroyed. That was their priority. Is you come home as safe as you possibly can. Now the chemical warfare that took place, again, that was devastating to us. Wasn't as devastating to these other communities, but it was absolutely devastating in every way it could be to our community specifically. Yes, these other subcultures and subsects of American society have been hit and they have been hurt, but they've been helped even after they've hurt themselves. We've never received an ounce of help.
Nope.
Never.
I'd like to say we're the canary in the coal mine for what's coming with the next people. If you want to see what's happening, what y'all getting ready to go through next, pay attention to what's happening with Black folks. If there's something bad coming, it's gonna happen to Black folks first before it comes to the rest of the American culture.
It's a pattern.
One thing I always say, it doesn't matter, just like with the election, I said it doesn't matter, our people is a people of survival. So throughout this whole time, we've been surviving and doing what we need to do. But the thing is, like I said, it's going to go back to, once again, the gatekeeper, okay? Because if somebody's a millionaire, right, whatever, he should be able to give you the blueprint, because when people have these millionaires on programs, they don't ask so many of the right questions, or none of the right questions. So if I'm a millionaire, I can give you the blueprint to what I did. I don't need you to hold my hand, but if you're giving me the blueprint to what you did, then I can do it. But it's not made that way. That's why they have the boule. There's a certain class. They don't mess with a certain class.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to always be divided, because of that certain class. Like you said, we're looking at people that we think that's one of us. There's not one of us. Right. And I'm going to give you another example of that. Let's just say a factory job, right? There's a factory job and you have a bunch of Asians, a bunch of Africans, a bunch of, other immigrants, right? And then you got a bunch of brothers, but they don't outnumber them. And if we're trying to go for this price range that we're looking for to be paid, when people come here and always say we're lazy because we don't want to work this job, and they come here and they want to work that job, but we're trying to get more money for what we're worth. If we got all those immigrants working in a place, they don't represent us. They're not going to represent us. They're happy to be here. So they're going to only work for the minimum that they're giving them. I've seen it a million times. Even I've told them that their worth is more.
If you got 10 families living in one house, that's easy.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it a million times. But the thing is, I even told a dude that came from Salvador, I said, your worth is more than what you're working here. You're bilingual. You know how to speak English and Spanish, right? But he was scared. He's scared to leave the job, because what they do, they pay him a little bit of money, but they'll buy him a house. They'll buy him a car. So they're stuck there forever. And they won't leave, and they'll stay loyal to him. But the people that I did mention that to, they went up, and they went up a little bit in their status, because I said you're bilingual, so your worth is more. So basically, is what I'm saying is, if it's 5 brothers or 10 brothers and they're outnumbered by all immigrants, they don't really fight with us. You know what I'm saying? So That's where
Well,
that's
it's like brother says
a big
before.
issue.
They're coming in with the anti-black
Yeah.
notion.
Yep.
Period. They don't have to, it's just flat out. That's what they're coming in with.
Right.
They may not necessarily say it in your face. They may not necessarily be evil, mean cats. But they are looking out for themselves. But what they don't realize is that when they're looking out for themselves, they are screwing us.
Yep.
And screwing up. And even if they do know it, I say those who are just coming in. But when we're going to speak to that particular legal or representative that was in California, who was like, "Oh, you with the blacks?" See, now she was in a position of power. She was in a position to actually affect people's lives. That cat that's coming in working like that, he ain't necessarily affecting lives per se. Those the cats I'm talking about when I say they don't know. Yeah. She knew.
Yeah.
Okay. So these cats, so the idea of survival for them, yeah, man, you got to know that that's most prevalent in what they're trying to do. And again, you're not trying to hurt their survival. That's why you gave the information about being bilingual. You were trying to help them out.
And that's what they want. You gotta understand. Sorry about that. Y'all gotta understand that they don't want people who are gonna stand on business. They don't want people who know their worth. They want people working for whatever they say the job is worth. They don't want people that push back. The whole what they call it gender wage gap, that's a myth. Mm-hmm. Men get paid more money because most men will be like, hey, I'm worth more than this. The real reason that women are getting paid less, either they're not bringing in the same value or they're not asking for what they're worth.
That's it.
Because they're agreeable. Men will say, hey man, listen, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing this, that, I need to get paid. And they be like, well, this person is valuable. We'll negotiate your wages. Immigrants are not going to negotiate their wages because, like you said, they're just happy to be here. They're happy they're getting paid more than what they were getting paid in their country. They're happy if they were a barber in their country and they became a barber here, they're happy to get whatever they're paying over here based on what they were getting paid over there, $2 haircut, $4 haircuts. They want, man, they're loving it. Man, give me $20. I'll be happy with $20. Just give me $20.
Right.
Yep. Let me interject this right quick. My wife was working at her job at one particular time. She moved up and got into a pretty decent position. And they had so needed her that they had to come and ask her, well, we know you need a raise. We want to give you a raise. How much do you want? Now, they still had her as an hourly worker, but, they were going to bump her hourly wage. And she was like, I don't know what to do. I want this. I was like, that's what you want? That's what you think you're going to be happy with? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, ask for this. Ask for 3 times what you want. So when they tell you no, and they knock that figure down, it's going to be higher than what you wanted.
Yep.
But she went back, presented the proposal. They came back, and the raise that she wanted, she didn't get. The raise that they cut it down to is what she got. But she would have been more than willing to accept her proposal, which was less from the beginning. Not that she didn't get a raise, it just wouldn't have been as big as it was. And that's how they generally trap women. Because you're right, they're going to be accepted because they know most women need these positions, jobs, yada, yada, like every American.
Well, everything
but
about
the idea that they might be more amenable to accepting it, yes, that might come from a woman more than a man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. There's certain, when they're hanging around the water tank and they start getting, shooting off them so-called racial jokes and slurs.
Yep.
They know the people they can do it around.
That's
it's
right.
mostly going to be an immigrant black, and he's going to laugh at those jokes and think it's funny, even though it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel cringeworthy. He doesn't want to buck against the system. But you do that around somebody like me, or a foundational black American, will be like, nigga, what did you just say?
That's right.
Right on the job. We're going to stand on business. Right on the job.
Yeah,
But the immigrants, they're so happy to be here, they're going to let it just go like this.
But the thing is, they're not connected to our culture, and the fact, and again, this shows you how deeply intertwined we are as more than just a fellow classification of a group category, right? We exist here in the same way as somewhat in the social structure of how whiteness exists here. It is a social value. It is a classification. It is a culture into itself. It is a power dynamic. It is all of that, right? And they get to switch or have some type of changeling in how they elicit that. You know what I'm saying, throughout their American meaning, if you will. These other people, again, if they're not connected to the culture, they're not even going to be equipped to even understand to have an antenna of awareness with that. Like you said, they just go along to get along. They happy to receive whatever they receive, and that maintains the anti-black status quo. My thing is when we present it to them, I permit everybody to be as ignorant as the billions of dollars of marketing and brainwashing that they put forth. You know, let's just say that it's effective. Okay, it's effective across the board. Well, the humanity within us is supposed to be able to break through some of that programming. Though, if we're all really true humans, you feel me? And there can be certain acts done that are inhumane to the point where people will reflexively be like, you know what? That person's not human. Or that was a very inhumane thing that they did. Well, empathy, to me, must be a standard of someone's participation within humanity. And if they ain't got empathy, when we present to them the humanity of the situation, then okay, I'm gonna lump them into possibly being, you know what I'm saying, ally with an enemy or an adversary, or, you know what I'm saying, poor in quality character or something. But right off the bat, if they're not culturally connected, how can they know what it is that they're participating in? If they're just there for some rations, if you will, some monetary rations.
And what we doing today and every day is opening up not only our eyes, the people out there listening to us, being aware of what's going on speaks volumes. Because we don't speak about this enough. We keep it quiet because we just want to, hey, I got mine. Hey, just leave me alone. Let me get mine. I got to take care of my family. You got to put yourself on the line if we want this to survive. If we want this to do what it's supposed to do. You got to stop thinking about me, and start thinking about us.
Let me tell you something. When you start looking at yourself like a business and you start lending your skills to the company that you're working for, I'm telling you, your life will improve. Your life will get better. When you start looking at yourself as not I need the company, but the company needs me.
That's right.
It's a different game plan when you go into that work the next morning. Now you realize I'm adding value to this company, and they don't want to lose this value that I'm bringing. And you become almost unfireable. Because when you start having that belief in yourself, when you start understanding that you got the skills to pay the bills, when you start knowing that you have the competency that breeds your confidence, when your confidence is backed by competence, you're a dangerous person in the workplace. They either leave you alone. Don't mess with him. Mm-hmm. Because he can go to our competitor and make them great. You got to start understanding that, people. A job means just over broke. If you want a job, you're always going to be broke. But if you start looking at yourself like a business, you start looking at the skills that you bring to the business, guess what? They understand right away they better pay you what you worth because you're actually improving the business. You're making that business better. So if you bring your skills and talents to the business and they don't appreciate it, start putting in for some other place. I'm not saying just quit automatically, but start putting in. to another place that values your skill and your time. That's how you got to think. You got to think almost like an independent contractor, even though you're an employee. I'm bringing my skills and my capability to this company, and y'all need this. Stop going to work and thinking it's all of, stop interacting with all those people at your job. They ain't your friend. Go there and do business. Go there and stand out on purpose. Go there and make a difference wherever you stand. That way, when you take a stand, they got to think about it. You know what? He took his stand, and we don't like it, but he brings so much value that we can't lose him. I had a buddy man who was in the tech industry. He used to work for Disney in the tech industry, and he would stand on business because he knew the value that he brought, and they didn't like it. He would call him out. Some places would say he's even disagreeable. Like they hate the brother who's disagreeable, but he brought so much value that they couldn't let him go. Then when it got to the higher ups, they tried to conspire and try to get him up out there. The higher ups said, "Nah, leave this man alone." Matter of fact, what is he saying he needs and he wants? Okay, let's get rid of those people, but we're gonna make sure we keep this brother, and we're just gonna isolate him a little bit so he doesn't have these problems no more. You got to bring your skills and your competency to that job, and you got to stand on business and watch what happens. It's a totally different broad. But if you're bringing mediocreness, if you're bringing your water tank banter, and you're not really there taking care of your business, making the company better, you can't do that. But if you're a real asset to that company, you can stand on business and you can get what you want. Listen, we don't do nothing mediocre, y'all. Black Americans, we are excellent. We are phenomenal. Bring your phenomenalness with you wherever you go. Bring that mindset that I'm going to be the biggest and the baddest everywhere you go. You can't afford to be like everybody else. You can't afford to take breaks. You can't afford to just be lackadaisical. You got to be at your best all the time. That's what the Most High called you to be. He called you to be excellent all the time, not just when you feel like it. And if you take that mentality where you go, you're going to watch doors are going to swing open for you. You need to be looking at your job as a way to get to your own business. I do a lot of consulting. And it's not because I'm the greatest. It's just I realize, hey, I got ability, and I want to lend my ability to other people, and they got to pay for it. You understand? Take that skill and that competency that you have and leverage it. You're welcome anytime on the panel, son. You're welcome anytime on the panel. Thank you.
You want to pull up 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁?
Yeah, 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁. Come on up, 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁. I think we got to get your email out to the people that subscribe to the channel. If you're there, 𝗖𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁.
And again, I want to say to the family and those who are listening, do not forget the new black media. Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, 𝗤𝗏 Nasheed, Vicky Dillard, Lisa Cabrera, Afro Elite, Torian Rain. These brothers are worth following and sisters are worth following. They are speaking FBA from the grassroots. There are all levels of conversations going on within this grassroots community you are supposed to be a part of. If you are not listening to the grassroots media, the new black media, you are behind.
Contact information just because the servicer themselves don't want to share.
Your mic is hot.
Yes.
Okay. I see. Okay. I'm going to make sure you're aware.
It's your TV, baby.
Yeah, I think your TV.
No, I'm working. I can't stay up here. I thought you said something to me.
Okay.
I thought you wanted to come up, sweetie. My bad.
Put your email in the chat if you can. Put your email in the chat for the subscribers. They may have to email you. We have to move.
I sure will.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. I'm sorry to bother you.
All right. Oh, please. You're not. I'm just tapping because I'm. I'm.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Write me down.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Too much. You took the words right out of my mouth. Everything that you just said. And I try to tell people, you don't be loyal to any gig, you know what I mean, that you're on. You know what I mean? Now, you're not telling nobody to quit.
You are your corporation. You are your LLC. You are
Exactly.
independent contractor. You may be getting some W2 benefits, but that's it. You got to come in there like, hey, I bring value where I go.
Right. I'm not loyal. I'm not loyal to no place, and I ain't friends with nobody. And I've even told people on the job, I said, listen, they want to get in your head and all that, know all your personal business. I said, listen, I said, no offense. I ain't here to be your friend. I'm here to do a job and clock out, punch out. That's it. I don't have no loyalty to, because if you're not going to pay me what I want, believe me, as soon as I open up my resume, somebody going to pay me what I want. It's always been like that. So what you said is true, but you got a lot of people who are afraid to do that. That's what I see. Same thing what I was saying about the immigrants. Some of our people, it's like that too. They're afraid to do this because I remember one time on the job, they didn't have, these were cooks. You know, and when you're a cook, you're supposed to have placemats on the floor and you're supposed to have a fan in the kitchen and all of that. And they didn't have that. And also they were shortening their checks. So I showed them a way how they can go about it, how they get a labor lawyer to make a phone call. So as soon as that labor lawyer makes a call or the Department of Labor makes a phone call there, watch what happens. But the one girl, she's 34 years old, she had kids and she was scared to do it. I was like, you're afraid to do it, they're not paying you your money. So I said, I got somebody there that was in charge to call this labor lawyer. Before the Department of Labor called, the lawyer called and he said, hey, I hear you got an issue there. I'll be coming up there on a Monday. This was on a Friday. And before that Friday was over, the guy that was the owner of this building, they never seen him a day in their life. He was down there. Said, what you need? You need a fan? We're going to have it here by the end of the day. What you need, mats? Your checks are not right. We're going to make sure we fix those today. So anything that people believe that can't be done, these people can do it. But you got to put fire to them sometimes because a lot of people don't.
They just
first
accept
of all, a lot of people
no.
don't know their rights. A lot of people don't know their rights. I want to say that. A lot of people don't know their rights on their job. A lot of people don't know their rights when they live in apartment complexes. They never read anything. Just like I tell people when you start a job, read your rule book. You know, read that stuff. Don't just get the job and don't know your rights on your job because they be doing a lot of funny stuff to people on jobs too.
Politics is
just
in
wanted
your
to put
job.
that out there.
Yeah, y'all know politics is in your job, man. You know that. You know how they do it. But listen, you're a mercenary on your job. Especially to these companies, you have to be. Like, you can't tell them that you're a mercenary. Hold on, man. We got a lot going on in your background. Hold on. It's a little bit loud. You can't tell them you're a mercenary, but you have to think like a mercenary. You're lending your skills to the highest bidder.
Say that again.
You're getting what you want. You're a mercenary on your job. You're not loyal to them. They're not loyal to you. So why are you gonna be stupid enough to fall for the okie doke and be loyal to them? Because if they can pay you the less amount of money and get the most amount of work out of you, they will. That's their job. Especially when it comes to black folk, they love to make you their friend, so they can screw you over. But if
they love the long con.
Yeah. When you come in there with the mindset, hey man, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to do business, they treat you differently. They look at you differently. This brother knows, these brothers are up to it. You know, but when they try to buddy you, and all of a sudden they try to lower your pay or give you the worst job, oh man, we had to make some cutbacks. Oh man, they always try to come with that game. They play that good cop and bad cop, and y'all fall for it every time. Y'all gotta understand who you gotta have belief in yourself. You can't let no job define you. You gotta realize that you can get another one.
Yep.
You can get another one.
And another thing, you got to
go ahead, Michael. Go ahead, bro.
You got to learn how to take one for the team to show the next one, hey, damn, he's different. So I wonder if all of them different. That's what we don't do. We just settle. You got to learn how to just say, you know what, the hell with y'all. I'm worth more than this. Get somebody else.
And start your own. That's why it's important that we got to go back to our people. We got to get back on the chitlin circuit, y'all. We got to be happy with the chitlin circuit and not fall for the butter biscuits of the YT of the dominant. Hold on, cousin.
Y'all mind if I drop a little story from a work history?
Go ahead.
I am born and raised Detroit, Michigan. Have worked in the Big Three. Traveled down to South Kakalaki. I ended up working in another manufacturing plant. This plant, I have more time in manufacturing work than this plant has been around. I'm a highly sought person, skill set for this place. I get in here, I get this gig, and I see all the evil that's going on in the team. I get confronted. I make it known to the office. I get a witness. Witness come back and verifies what I'm saying. We ended up because we were temps, getting fired. The person who fired us was removed from his job. So he lost an $80,000 job. His work girlfriend, who was our team leader, she lost her support. And now all eyes were on her. Plus, the 3 days that they had released us, they paid us for and brought us back. When you know the rules, you can't be defeated. They have to abide by the rules that everyone that they put forth for everyone. Make sure you work them for you. Put them in your favor. You can't go wrong, and they have to abide by it. And I will go on and land my plane as quickly as I can there.
Yeah, man. Just y'all got to know that y'all know if y'all got jobs, y'all know how these tethers be on the jobs. Y'all just got to figure out the game. The game that they're running, the game that they're playing. The moment they get a foot in there, they're going to try to get all their people up in there.
That's right.
And they're going to try to do it under the guise that they're black just like you. You're gonna realize that you're going to turn around, look to your left, you're going to look to your right, and you're going to realize that these are all immigrant blacks around you. They're not FBA. You start doing the head nod and see what happens. Just start doing it. I do it all the time. When I do the head nod and people look at me like they don't know what to do, I know they're not one of us. When I do that,
Yep, exactly.
when I do that and they don't give it to me back,
And if they'll throw it up,
I know. And guess what? When I do get the head nod, you know what I make? You know what I make a thing to do now? I make a thing to stop them, be like, "Hey, brother, you're my brother, and I love you." I make it a thing to stop them.
what?
And let them know, "Hey, brother, not only did we acknowledge,
Put them on blast.
but we're from
Put them on blast.
lineage. We're from the same lineage." And then I make sure they know, hey, that head nod is sacred. You understand? Don't ever feel like you're alone. When you're in a crowd, you see a group of people, just start doing the head nod, and know what they give you back. Go hang around that brother.
You hear the brothers from the UK. They say they study us. They have to infiltrate us, so they know. They probably know the head nod. They try to infiltrate and do everything that we do.
You can't lose that quick. So we gonna know if you a UK brother or not. But we know people are trying to infiltrate it. We know people are trying to infiltrate that head now. But it's an instinct that's in them, right? They're not.
Right.
It's not a norm. You know, it's gonna look awkward when they do it because it's not something that's normal to them. It's normal to us. It's in us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look.
You're right.
Like I've done the head nod to some Mexicans before, and they giving it back, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah.
It's not the same. They usually have a
It's that
crazy
black
look first.
consciousness.
Come on,
I
they
didn't
usually
walk
give you
past.
that crazy look first, and then they acknowledge you. But
I didn't walk
when you see
past
a
black
brother,
people.
it's automatic. It's in them when they
Yeah,
see your head nod. It's just like a natural reflection. It's like a natural thing.
exactly. Just like Detroit got a certain thing we do. So when you know a person from the Detroit area, east or west,
What
because
up,
we all
though?
do it. And when we see each other, it's always go this, what up, though? And somebody
What
gonna
up,
say,
though?
what up, though?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
if you ain't from
Everything.
Detroit, you ain't gonna know that.
that's true.
Right. Every city, every state,
Yeah.
we got our own unique
You know
we
how
got
I
our
was
own
about
unique
what up,
thing.
though?
Right.
Uh,
I was gonna say,
Best friend.
right. Every city like that, but that's what makes our supposed
That's what makes
50
Detroit.
countries united here. Okay.
Yeah.
right. Because it's the same way we say it too. Because
Right. No, I mean,
we spell it
look,
different.
Brooklyn got a thing, Bronx got a
We got a
thing,
thing, right?
Detroit got a thing,
We got a
South
couple
Kakalaki
things.
got a thing, Florida
New
got a
Orleans,
thing. Everybody got a thing.
Yeah, but we all know when
Like
we
in
Right. I'm
Cali,
sorry, I
you
forget
like
New Orleans. My bad.
in Cali, we be like, "What's poppin'?
what's popping,
What's poppin'?"
what's popping, cuz.
You see?
Right.
And
We
that
got
But
our
it's
own
still kind
little
of
lingo out here.
universal.
Like I can tell people from Long Beach, and I can tell people from Cringe. I
yeah,
can
you can hear the
tell where you're
difference.
from. There's a difference.
See,
But you know what's gonna be
that's
universal
crazy.
amongst
That's
all them
crazy
groups?
because Cali, yeah, all those different places in
That
Cali
head
for
nod.
you to know.
That head nod.
That's universal. That's
Hold on,
universal with us.
let me hear from a Google user. Go ahead and unmute your mic, brother. Google user, unmute your mic.
Hey, thank you. Do I need to say something about age or race or no?
Well, let us know
If
who
you'd
you are.
like to introduce yourself,
You
you
sound like a
can.
foundational Black American woman, but we don't know.
Yes, I definitely am. And I'm in my mid 50s and I'm enjoying the conversation. I agree with you, host, on the contract work, treating your workplace as if you're an external consultant. Seem like you're relaxed and having a good time and have a good time, but always keep in mind that you're an entrepreneur there. And I think staying light on your feet, looking for opportunities outside, always looking for opportunities outside also, because you never know what might come. I love that. And in fact, I'm a consultant, a management consultant, and I do share that with people who I coach. So I thought that was great. There was a comment about wage gap, and misogyny is a real thing, like systemic racism it is. And for Black women, that's racism and misogyny. And sometimes we're underpaid by our own because there's a sense that, well, we can get away with it, and you're going to be extra, extra thankful. Aren't you thankful? So for us, sometimes women have the same feeling, and especially Black women have the same feeling that immigrants have. So there's a little hesitancy, and they'll have to role play. So sometimes I have people role play making a salary request, so it's not out of fear or even irritation.
Right.
And you're saying it
Like, giving some
warmly.
practice.
Yeah,
It's
practice. So
needed. It's needed because listen, you got. I'm no denigrating. Listen, I love Black women. I respect y'all. We understand you got a powerful voice and y'all do y'all thing. We give y'all props, right? But one of the things that this wage gap that we're talking about is y'all don't go in there and stand on business when it comes to getting what you're worth, and y'all gotta
yeah,
learn how to do that. Y'all
yeah,
gotta learn how to go in there and look the boss. I mean, it's a masculine thing. You gotta learn
but
how to go
it's
in there, look at your boss in the eye, and say, "I do this. I bring this to the table. You know, I have these skills. I've acquired these other skills that are helping, benefiting the job, and I deserve more because I bring value. And you have to be valuable in order to ask for that to get it. So if you know you're valuable, and they can't lose you. You can go in there and get what you're supposed to get." And that's what I remember when I did have a job. I was working for what was the company Intuit. I was working for the company Intuit, and they tried to give me a 13-cent raise. They tried to give me a 13-cent.
Damn.
They said, "We based on your evaluation and what you do." And I said, "Hold on. but I'm excellent over here, right? As a matter of fact, the chart say I'm excellent over here, right? And listen, I wasn't supposed to know this, but I know y'all gave such and such this, right? So why are y'all giving me 13 cents? I said, I need more. And I said, I'm not gonna budge, and I'm gonna go back to my desk, and you're gonna call me back in when you have the right number. I did that. I was 25 years old when I did that because, hey, my dad was hey, listen, the game that my dad gave me was different than other people's game. Okay, I stood on business everywhere I go, and I said, I'm gonna go back to my desk. I'm gonna continue working, and I'm gonna reject this 13-cent raise, ma'am. I'm sorry. You're not gonna move me from $13 to 13 cents. You're not gonna do that to me. I need to get paid appropriately. I'm looking at something around $1, $1.50. I went back to my desk. And I was working with major accounts in Intuit. And you know what happened? They didn't give me the $1.50, but they gave me a 90-cent raise. And I settled for that. And they knew not to play with me when it came for the yearly thing. And as a matter of fact, I ended up walking away from that job because I became a financial advisor shortly after that.
Yeah, that was inevitable, bro. We could, I mean, not that they bent to your will. And see, I like that particular aspect of, if you'll forgive me, Game of Thrones.
My dad taught me how to do that. You know, this is what something.
Yes.
My dad taught me how to say, hey, you got to call their bluff. You got to call their bluff. You got to stand on business and call their bluff because they're bluffing. They're seeing what you're willing to accept. And when you
I'd
say,
like
hey,
to.
and you got to be excellent in order to get it. You can't be mediocre. You got to be excellent.
That's true. I want to say something about that. The way you negotiated works, and you might disagree with this, works with a man. When I work with women, I suggest that they do something a little bit different because those confrontational approaches, right away, they pull out the stereotypes. She's difficult, she's aggressive, she's angry. And for you, you're standing on business, you mean it, you're forceful, you get the job done. But with women,
I was very quickly, I was like, ma'am, I can't accept 13 cents. That's actually offensive to me. I'm gonna go back to my desk. You know, I'm looking at something like the $1.50 range. I'm gonna go back to my desk. I do this, and I just rattled off all my accomplishments. Y'all gave me the faster growing award. Y'all gave me. I just start pointing out all the accolades that they gave me when I first came, and all the accounts I locked in and done. And I was like, this is what And then I had prior knowledge of what other people were getting, even though they wasn't supposed to tell me about that. I said I have prior knowledge that you paid certain people this amount, so this is kind of what I'm expecting. And I'm gonna go back to my desk and finish my work now. But when you call me back in here, I'm gonna need those figures. And I stood on business and went back to my desk and did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Okay, can I offer?
She said, he was humble but firm.
Yeah, I was humble but firm.
The second time, you definitely sounded this. Here's one suggestion, if you don't mind, and then I'll land.
Yeah, what you're saying really resonate with a lot of people because we live in that place.
Let her finish, brother.
Hold on, let her finish. Let her finish, brother. I'm gonna let you talk. Let her finish.
One suggestion that I would make is you get the offer and say, let me think about that for a day. And then you type bulleted, just bullets. You offered 13 cents. I'm asking for $1.50 more, an extra week vacation, and maybe 2 more things or 1 more thing. And here's the reasons why. And you have 2 or 3 bullets under that, and the awards. And so you say, okay, you're sitting in front of the person again. Thank you so much. I appreciate you offering me a raise. Here's what I'm asking for. And they have that information, also all the awards and the things you've done well and the targets you've hit, and it's in writing. So you don't have to do a lot of the communication legwork. They can review it and they probably will say, well, thank you, I appreciate this. I'll get back to you. And then you say, well, okay, thank you. Perhaps Friday we can talk about it. Okay, Friday we'll talk about it. I appreciate it. Bye-bye, thank you. And then you leave. That I have found has gotten results.
Okay.
Yeah, as I was saying, what you guys talking about really resonate with a lot of people because many of us when you learn what you call a trade, or you have like knowledge and it's valuable, most of these people just use you and they're underpaid. And we all go through that. And especially like everyone have their own story. Like in many fields, you can see many of these people, they go to school, they become lawyers, but they charge other people overpricing. But most of the time when you go through those law firms, most of the people that do the job, either it's a paralegal or someone who do all the legal work. And most of the time they're underpaid. And whenever you complain about you being underpaid, it's either they're gonna cut you off or blackball you or try to find another way to find cheap labor. Look at what is happening right now. Most people don't understand what is happening in America because most of the what you call original Black Americans went to school and studied some kind of trade and they have proper knowledge. And what is happening is that now these people are requiring to get paid what their value is. But what you call the Caucasian man or whoever run this place and the system that's just set up don't want to pay you your fair share. So that's why they're opening these borders and bringing people that don't have the skill set or anything so they can pay them what you call cheap labor and eliminate all the other people. That's why most of us just go into business on our own. Because when you acquire the skills and the knowledge, why can't you just start your own business and make sure you set up everything right and incorporate yourself the right way and do it right? And when you start doing that, what's going to happen? Now you're dealing with the banks, you're dealing with the big ones, where they're not going to give you any funding. They're not going to give you none of that. Now you're going to have to grind on your own and make your company reputable to a point that where you're going to look at what is happening. Most people don't understand. Most of these big companies that's here, now what they're doing, they're leaving this land and going to the African land the same way that they took all the people out there, all the engineers, all the doctors, go to any big hospital here in America. Either it's the original Black Americans that really suck knowledge and have the knowledge to become like a surgeon or a big doctor that's working, or they bring in through the diversity visa program, the immigrants that get what you call, okay, all the big jobs, which is they're underpaying them. Most of them don't even say it. But they work as doctors, they work as lawyers, they work at all this, but they're underpaid. But there is nothing they can do because as soon you say something, either you're going to lose your position or whoever you work for going to find some kind of frivolous civil case against you where you're not going to be able to defend yourself or do anything.
Let me tell y'all the big, and he's right. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, welcome to the American way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're saying, okay. Well, let me say this. I learned this from a Kenyan guy. When I was like 18, I went to a trade school, UEI, and I got a networking technician certificate. And I had to find my own job. I was working for a company, a tech company, a tech outsourcing company called System One. And they got me a job at the Riverside Courtyard Marriott installing T1 cabling and their fast the fast internet at that time. You know, everything was dial up and servers back then. This is like 1999, early 2000. Okay, and this Kenyan guy was my boss, and I learned from this guy because he figured out something that most Americans don't figure out. He said that every job you go to, it's called on-the-job training. He said if you pick up a drill, even though you never use that drill, you don't know how it works. Hold on. You don't know how it works. You say just because you picked up that drill one time, you now have the skill set to use that drill. Even if you don't know how to use that drill, there's on-the-job training. Every job is gonna. He said you need to learn this. Yes, I know how to do it, but how do you guys do it? And when he told me that one little key thing on how to say yes, I know how to do it, not disqualify myself from the position. Say yes, I know how to do it. I've done it before, but how do you guys do it here? Because I don't want to just make up my own program. I want to do it the way you guys do it. They're gonna show you.
That's right.
And all you gotta do is pay attention and let them show you. And then duplicate what they just showed you. And now nobody's none the wiser. Well, I figured out this one little trick, and my resume game been smooth ever since. If I looked at it, if I seen it, if I've been around it, I'm qualified to do. Listen. A lot of my consulting job, if I'm being honest with you, it learn as I go. People come up to me with projects. I didn't know anything about building a 300 megawatt Bitcoin server database center at all. Hold on, Janice. Hold on.
Your TV too loud, Janice. Everything in the background too loud.
I'm gonna let you speak, but we can't have all the feedback and the background noise. Okay. I figured it out. I put together a team of brothers. I had a YT token boy. I had another sharp brother, educated brother, and we went and figured out. We started out as runners, and we became more valuable than runners, and we were putting together a whole 300 megawatt data center blueprint by our dang self. I get all kind of weird jobs. I travel back and forth. You know, some people, oh man, bring me back some tea, and now I'm in the tea business. Just like that. Just like that. I'm selling agriculture. I'm selling natural resources. I'm selling corn. I sold corn. Just because I made myself available, I didn't disqualify myself. I realized that, guess what? I could figure it all out. Mm-hmm. Y'all better utilize YouTube. There's so many how-to videos on YouTube on how to do stuff. You can figure out the game. All you gotta do is apply yourself.
That's right.
So I started a LLC, and it's been around since 2019. I've had more LLCs, especially when I was in the financial industry. But just within the last I'll say 10 years, I started getting these projects, and these projects I do 3 to 4 projects, and I'm set for the whole year, y'all. I work 9 months, and I'm traveling overseas 3 months out the year, 6 months out the year. Now, when COVID came, a lot of that dried up, but guess what? It's starting to come back again. More projects are starting to come back. Why? Because I learned another skill. I learned this skill very early. It's called how to execute.
That's right.
It's called how to pick up the ball and get it across the finish line. That's right. That's what it is. If you don't learn that skill, you can't do anything. You're not valuable at anything. Anybody can start something, but can you finish it to the end?
That's right.
And then I learned another ability, how to put my own money up.
That's right.
Not be afraid to spend a little money so I can make a little money. Not to be afraid to invest in myself. If there's a skill I need to learn, I'm going to go pay to get it.
Say it again, brother.
So I have it. If there's a skill I need to learn, I'm going to go pay to get it. I'm going to be somebody's apprentice.
Thank you.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to gain skills because I know these skills are going to be what pays the bills. That's where my competency comes from, and that's where my confidence comes from, my competence. The more competent I become, the more confident I become. That's why I can talk like this. There's nothing you can tell me. I got the blueprint.
That's right.
I figured it out early. So when I'm up against, because this is a competition, I'm competing on a global, not just a national scale, on a global scale. And I gotta be the best. Another thing I learned this in Bible college. Anything you do for God, you do it with excellence.
That's right.
You do it with excellence. There is no mediocre when it comes to you're the Most High. You do it with excellence. And I just took that ability from Bible college and said, I'm going to transfer it into every area of my life. I'm going to be the best.
You see, what you're saying right now really resonates with anyone because, as you mentioned, you are the best creation of the Creator. You're supposed to be best at anything that you do. So that's why we all supposed to share knowledge and give the opportunity. So someone like you who have acquired all these skills, let me tell you one thing. Today, all the next places where people trying to go and make money because they have earned and learned all these knowledges. Look at all these big companies trying to set up in Africa, for example, right? Someone like you who have built his company here, have a reputation here, can set up cable companies and all these databases and all that. You think you don't have an opportunity to get like what you call contract from any like low government in West Africa or South Africa or East Africa where you can go, bring in your company, sign this contract, and like have a 2-month or 3-month job, make yourself a big buck and come back and still run your company as you're running it. Because if we don't get up and do it, what's gonna happen? The same people that's running everything here, they're gonna get up and go back to the land and run everything. We're not gonna be saying, okay, this America, this is really our home and we're gonna stay here, knowing that we are being segregated. We are being segregated by the bank, by the institution, by everything. Yeah, we can keep our homes here. We can consider here as an investment, like as really what you call a hotel, where we have everything belong to us. We own everything, but also we're putting our foot back to the land, back in Africa, because I'm telling you, that's the next land of opportunity and growth. If you have any skills and you try to find a way, go for yourself. Don't listen to anyone. Go to any country in Africa that you choose. Go and look at the landscape. Look at what people trying to do, how they're trying to build. People are building homes. People are building internet companies. People are building all type of things. What can you put your hands on here in America and learn it well, as the brother just explained? Acquire all the knowledges from the beginning to the end, not just start something you cannot finish. So when you go on the other side, anywhere in the world, when you stand up and anyone who give you any kind of project, you can be able to execute it. I'm telling you, man, when I started right here, I'm in Michigan, right? I started real estate here like really, really easy. Because at the time, like 2012, 2011, people just seeing all these empty houses and no one is really putting their hands on it. So you just started. You bring in contractors. Some of them will lie. And sometimes you put yourself handy, like you put your hands on it. Not just you putting your money, but putting your eyes and your ears and everyone, putting your family in it. Like moving as a unit, not just you. Only one person cannot do it. You got to find people that really have like-minded as you, or they are like-minded as you, and they want to evolve and build something that's going to sustain you, not for just now. These people have been doing it. Look at all these big companies here, Walmart, BJ's, all these. They're people last names, and these people started like generations ago and pass it down to their children. And now we all here, people just what they're doing. My mother told me something very young age. She said to me, she's like, in this life, in this life, if you're not selling anything, you will never become anything. And if you look at AT&T, Walmart, all these companies, they're selling a product. Now what they're doing, they're hiring people and buying those people knowledges and transforming into product and selling them. All these car companies, everyone is doing the same thing. You need to either build your knowledge to a point that you can create something and you can sell it. I'm not going to keep on long, but I really appreciate what you're doing here, and you just motivating people to just use the knowledge and skill that they are acquiring, because that's all we need. The Creator has given us the ability to use our brain and learn.
There you go. There you go. Listen, he's not FBA, but I'm allowing him to speak because he's telling the truth. He's not lying. Okay. So I'm allowing, especially if he's giving game. I think people need, game is across the board. It's not based on gender, race, or anything like that. Game is across the board.
I appreciate, sorry to cut you off, host. I appreciate what he said about selling something. And what was it that your mother said again? I want to write down that quote because it's true. Because that's when I was able to really move forward, is when I started selling something.
That is true. She said at a young age, she's like, son, in this life, if you're going to become anything in life, you must sell something. Because if you're not selling something, you will never become something.
That is so true. And I've taken that to heart, and it's helped me out so much over the years. I don't overwork now. I don't overwork because I'm selling something and I have room to maneuver.
And also just be authentic in what you're selling. Sell something that's going to benefit people. Anything. It's a knowledge. It's a product. Anything that's going to benefit someone.
Right. And let me just add on to that. You are your biggest commodity. You're selling yourself always. You're lending your skills and your ability to these companies. They don't own it. You own it. And make sure you have that mindset. Take that mindset with you, that the skill that you bring into the company doesn't own those skills. Those are your skills. You can take those skills anywhere and dominate in any industry, because a lot of this stuff is interchangeable. If you have the ability to learn, if you have the ability to read, if you have the ability to source information, you're valuable. That needs to go on your resume. And you have to understand how to, you know, words are important. How you say things are important. Okay, you can have somebody who's a janitor, but if you look at their resume, they look like they're more than a janitor. But if you really look at it, they're just saying I'm a janitor. But it's not what you say a lot of times, it's how you say it. So if you understand that, sell yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Sell yourself high. Sell yourself to the capability that you know you bring to the company. And somebody to look at that and be like, you know what, I appreciate that, I see that, and I want that. Now I don't like, I say this: get a job to pay your bills, but get a business to fund your lifestyle. Get a job to pay your bills, but get a business to fund your lifestyle. Your job is not the end all be all. You may start out with a job, but you don't want to end up with a job, because if you end up with a job, you don't really have much. Let's just keep it a buck. You don't really have much. So we're still talking about immigrants and tether classes and are used as a buffer zone. We're still talking about that. Matter of fact, I want King, to speak on that. If you know what a buffer class is, if you know what a tether is, if you know what we're talking about, how YT people use immigrants, prop them up in our societies, and they're there to kind of rule over us, kind of keep foundational Black Americans in their place, keep us from achieving and advancing. And that's why I say, don't let, if you're in a job, you might as well say you join politics, because there's going to be so much politics on the job. There's so many people competing for their lineage to get in the door and do what you're doing. When I was working for some Chinese millionaires, the sooner they were able to replace me with another Chinese guy, they did.
That is correct. What you just mentioned and go all across the board. In any industry, the same thing is going on. Whatever you are, you have your hold on. Any company is, if you got a city job, if you got a manufacturing job or anything, don't get your hands off of it. Just consider it as your, what you call just now, as what you pay your bills, what bringing food to the table. Then get yourself a business on the side, what is doing, funding your life, as he just mentioned. But just be mindful, know that, okay, whatever company that you're working for, that company is trying to find someone, because everyone they employ in their company, they're going to talk to them individually and they're going to offer them individually what they're going to pay them. So whatever value that you bring to the table, make sure your pay reflects your value. That's one. But don't run away from your job for something else. You don't have a grip on something else that's better than what you have. Because as soon they get someone else that can be able to do what you're doing, and they can pay that person maybe like cheaper than what they're paying you, of course they will. But if you stand on your business and you stand on what you got, no one can take you off what you have. It's simple as that. But there is a history. There is a history of what we know. Whenever what you call like foundational Black people trying to evolve, there is always something there trying to stop them. That's been there for ages. So this whole migration, there is a legal way for people to come here, because this country, whenever you hear someone talking about immigrant, they only talk about Black people. You don't talk about any kind of white immigrant that come from Europe, Ukraine, and all those countries to come here and fund their life. But no, because they're bringing the Black immigrants, because these people are uneducated, they don't have no sense of understanding of what is really going on, and they can take anything they get. They can leave however they leave. So they rather just come here and get the low job that they are offering them. That's why they're opening this border, because there are many legal ways to come to America. But why this is ramping up? Because it's the system. There is two things, and right now we all maybe we have a little what you call heart coming down, because okay, Trump won the election. Okay, fine, but we don't know. On the other side, we have something else that we must be minding or having in mind. Not too long ago, in September, there was what you call the port people, the workers at the port was doing what? They was complaining because, okay, robots are on the other side trying to replace people's jobs. And this guy is aligning himself with who? Elon Musk. That guy is known for what?
But hold on real quick about the port. Did y'all see the video of that lady who was crashing out, that 𝗤𝗊𝗐 lady, or she either the 𝗤𝗊𝗐 or Hispanic, I don't remember. But she was telling you,
Yeah.
I hear screaming coming out of these buildings. There are people, and they shut the whole port down. Remember, they shut the whole port down.
Yeah.
All your Amazon things got backed up. But this lady was telling you that there were people in those barrels. There were people inside of those, whatever they were bringing them in, those ships that they were bringing them in. And she was crying. She said, I don't care. I heard it. There's people screaming. There's people crying. I heard it. I heard it. I'm not going to be quiet. I heard it. I think they ended up arresting that girl.
Yeah, well,
Did you see that?
Yeah, what you just mentioned.
I seen that.
Because this is
I was on the
happening.
trucker. I was on the truckers panel the other day that you mentioned. That's funny because I was on the truckers panel the other day, and a couple of those truckers, a couple of those brothers, they out of Houston, I believe, or whatever, Dallas or Texas, and they was like saying they haven't heard nothing. They said like that they feel disrespected that people think that we would let something like that get by. Now they did mention, they said now there was a guy that was missing in Europe. He got smashed in between those boxes. He got smashed in between, and he made it all the way to America, smashed in between, and they found him. But they saying far as people being in the boxes, and this was on an all trucker panel. And I happened to catch it when they were saying it, and they were feeling like they felt some type of way because they was like, "There's no way we're working out here and we don't know if somebody's screaming or whatever in there." They're trying to. What they were saying on the panel was like it was propaganda. You know what I mean?
They were saying
they were saying it was propaganda because they said they never heard anybody screaming. They said. We've never heard nobody, but people do get stuck in between. He said people do get crushed though in between boxes while they're working and stuff like that. So I just happened to catch the truckers talking about that the other day.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, pay attention. I mean, anything could be a psyop, and we got to. Again, when it coming from mainstream,
absolutely.
You got to be careful, man. You got to inspect what you expect all the time, y'all, because things are not what they seem.
Yeah, that is true. Because yesterday or the day before yesterday, I seen in an article somewhere in Arizona what is happening. Them finding a bunch of I don't want to say that on here, but people caught up or something in barrels or something like that. Something related to the FBI in Arizona. I don't know what is that about, but there is something more sinister that's going on.
I'm here in Arizona. Yeah, they found body parts.
Yeah, it's kind of something sinister. I can't understand.
Barrels and stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably like the other day they were saying that I don't know. It can be anything from anything,
and it could be at any. And it could be at any port. It don't even have to be at those dudes' ports.
Right.
They are finding a lot of, you know what I mean? They found that in the prison. I think it was in Alabama. They found all of those bodies. That's why I tell people, be in contact. If you have somebody who gets incarcerated, you shouldn't leave them in there. Like, you know, they really need money. You know what I mean? I understand like certain people's circumstances, they burn bridges. But a lot of bad things happen to people in there because they don't have money and something they get in a fight in there. The first thing they do, they throw people in the hole and you don't hear from them. Right. And then sometimes that leads to them, you know what I mean? Like in Alabama, I believe this is Alabama. They found a whole bunch of bodies in the back of the prison.
I remember that.
It was ridiculous amount of bodies that somebody could have, you know, got knocked off. And not only that, they're taking the organs. And this is what I mean. They're taking people's organs. They're not telling nobody about these bodies, taking the organs out of them and selling them. And this is why I tell people this is the reason why they really got rid of Jeffrey Dahmer, because he was making money off that. They're trying to say he was a cannibal, whatever, but he was making money off it. And that's the reason why he was mostly messing with BLK's people, because their hearts and organs are worth the most money. So they had to take him out because he was unpredictable. He was going to give an interview. So they put him in a cell with a brother and he took him out. And that's what they're doing. And somebody was talking to me the other day and they said, man, you really believe that? You naive? I said, well, just a couple of months ago, it was a family that was on live, okay, trying to save their son, their self, saying as soon as they walked in the hospital, they said they wanted their son's heart. It was on live.
Yeah.
They were actually pumping their sons.
Off your license,
Yeah,
people.
this is the main reason why we must get the knowledge that we need for our own body. There are many alternatives for you to heal yourself, find ways of really getting yourself up to the knowledge that you need for your own body. Don't let yourself go. Don't let your family go.
Yeah.
Keep in touch with everyone. Get everyone. Any knowledge that you get, just share it with people that you know that will benefit from it.
Right. But y'all remember when that boy was found up in that rolled up in the mat? They said his organs was gone.
Yeah.
They trying to say he climbed in there himself. But why is his organs missing? If that's the case.
This is what I suggest that everybody does, man. If you have somebody in your family that has passed away, especially if it's questionable, in questionable situations, pay for your own autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't allow the coroner to do anything. You pay you go put some money together and you get a second opinion. Because they're gonna lie. They're getting paid to say whatever they want you to think. You fight, you get you a lawyer, you fight, you get access to, because they're not allowed to not give you access to your children, to your family members. They're not allowed to just take them and tell you any old thing. No, you need to do your own autopsy. You need to do your own report. You need to hire a private investigator even and get the truth. Don't allow these people to tell you no truth. Stand on business. Stop letting things happen to you. And if you don't got the money, figure out a way to get it.
And remove that.
Go to the people. Go to the community. Let them know, hey, this is sinister. Something's going on. I need help. And that's why I want FBAs. I need y'all to get financially sound. Because when you're financially sound, they can't do all this stuff to you. And there's no excuse why you can't be financially sound in America, because there's nothing holding you back but you.
Exactly.
You gotta have discipline to stop buying everything you see on that damn television and that damn social media.
Exactly.
You don't need all that stuff. You gotta listen, husband and wives, y'all gotta start coming together and stop hurting each other.
Yep.
The woman, you gotta stop spending your man's money. That's not what it's there. He's not making the money just so you can spend it. You're building something. I'm not saying don't get nice things, but you got to build first. Build first. I'm not putting it all on the women too, because there's men who don't know how to manage their money, who are afraid of what they're spending and buy stupid stuff too. That's dumb. That's why your kids don't have college funds, y'all. That's why you can't even put your. That's why you.
Woman is there to be a multiplier for you.
Yeah. Woman, you go back and read Proverbs 31 and learn how to multiply what that man gives you for the family and not be selfish. Men, stop being selfish. Women, stop being selfish. Come together and combine your power, combine the strength of the woman, combine the strength of the man. Don't use it against each other. Combine them and go out there and build something, because that's what's under attack. You're not building anything. Black people, I love y'all, but y'all not building nothing. That's the problem.
Yeah,
go back and start building with your man and your woman. Start building. If she's not a builder, get rid of her.
You see, I love the way you just mentioned men.
Hold on, brother. If she's not a builder, get rid of her. If he's not a builder, don't submit. Don't marry the joker. Don't have kids with the joker if he's not a builder. If he doesn't know how to execute, leave him alone, lady. It's not all about sex. You got to get with a builders need to get with builders. Builders should find builders and go build something. Stop with if this man doesn't believe in life insurance, man, what are you doing with that joker?
Right.
What are you doing? You're not protected. If the woman is spending up all your money, what are you doing with that woman? She's there for herself. If she don't want to cook, clean, and take care of the health and well-being of the family, man, why are you wiping her up? Stop it.
You see what you
Traditional
just
men should be with traditional women. Modern men should be with modern women. Modern men and modern women, y'all do 50-50. Go do it, but build something. Traditional men and women, you know, the woman's going to be more focused on the home. The man's going to be focused more on providing and protecting. Go do it and build something. There's no gender war in that. It's just common sense. If this woman has a different ideology than what you have, y'all don't need to be together. If this man has a different ideology from how you were raised in your family and you had a father, woman, don't marry the man. Don't join yourself to nothing. Clouds with no water are useless. Let me say it again. Clouds with no water are useless. You're a useless cloud if you don't rain.
You see what you just mentioned right there. That's the foundation of what you call Black America. If you see all these problems happening right now, what is it? Because most people live in America. When you go back in time, you will see either they was born out of wedlock or there was no understanding between the father and the mother. And that's the foundation right there. And they say that God created a male and a female for them to multiply, right? But it's a male and a female. A male become a man when he have understanding of God. A male is a male, but he only becomes a man when he have understanding of God. And when he have understanding of God and he becomes a man, automatically the female will submit to him because he is submitting to God. This is the foundation that most people are forgetting. That's because true. Most women will not submit to a male and do whatever the male wants if that male is not fearing of God. And you got many brothers right here that's running around and they don't know what they're doing. How can you expect them to be with a woman who is going to help them multiply, as the brother cousin says? The woman will do anything you give her. If you give her hate, she will multiply that hate. If you give her a house, she will make it a home for you. You give her money, she will make food for you on the table and get everything. You give her like a sperm, she makes a child for you. And she's going to nourish that child. But we all forgetting that. And we now living in this time. That's why you got people coming and mingling among us and telling us, okay, now a man can call himself a woman. Or a woman can call herself a man. What kind of derogatory is this? Because they're all forgetting that they have been put in this earth as witnesses to this place. You're supposed to basically come here and create something that's great. Go back to history, the foundation of the black man. We created the greatest kingdoms that existed on this planet. We are now workers. We are creators. We are not like people that hold countries. We hold kingdoms and empires. So every single one of you is supposed to be a king on his own because he's building a kingdom. And that kingdom starts with the family that he has.
Okay.
So everything you said, I just agree completely. It's just I'm running out of time and I will join you another time. But I appreciate you. Whenever I see you guys talking in FBA, I see every kind of thought is something that's concentrated in the building of your knowledge and yourself. Because everything goes back to that. Remember, this land that they call America, this land, the first people that ever was here and created a kingdom to this place is the people that look like you. That's why when you go through the indigenous tribes of America, you got the Cherokees and everything that follows. All those tribes, their families. So we're coming close to what you call this Thanksgiving, right? Most people need to go and look up. These people came here, there was a war, and they fought our grandfathers here, and they killed them, and they're happy about that, and we help them become happy and Thanksgiving every year because they killed us and they took everything we have. But it's not going to stop because what we have can never be stopped, which is what is built inside us. the knowledge and wisdom that we have will never stop. That's why if you look up all the inventions, look at America, all the inventions from the beginning. The other day I was listening to you, I heard another brother saying the peanut was invented by a black man, which is true. Everything has been invented by us, but what is happening? They just take it. They take it from you because you don't have the proper knowledge of setting your life right. They said many people here that die in America, they don't have what you call a will or a trust because they don't know how to set up their life properly so that if anything happened to them, the state is not, it can do nothing to them. You got to be able to hold yourself up and understand, okay, hey, I'm only here in America for a moment. I might end up somewhere one day, but whatever I build here, if it's strong enough, I can take it anywhere.
Right. Now, see, this is what I want y'all to understand. This is why we don't call everybody a tether. Because this brother is not talking like a tether. He's actually giving y'all the game. See, what happens when they...
Exactly.
When you have the black consciousness, we can work with that. If when you don't have the black consciousness, we can't work with people who don't have the black consciousness. We can't work with people who have a fleeing mindset, who have a colonized mind. But when you have a mentality that says, hey, man, I'm going to go out here and get it, and I'm going to stand on business, and I'm going to walk in truth, not in darkness, we can work with that because that's what's going to liberate us. That's what's going to liberate all melanated people. And we're the leaders in that liberation, y'all. We have to understand that. We're nobody's son. We're nobody's generic African. You know, if Africa is the motherland, this is the fatherland. We got more pyramids in the America than they have in the continent of Africa. Okay? If you look at just the United States resources alone, we're self-sustainable than any African country. Now, if you put it as a continent, they got more. But if you break it down into countries and you go country for country, America's the big dog.
You see what you just mentioned? Sorry to cut you off. But you see me, I live as a foundational African man. I don't see countries in Africa. Africa is the land of kingdoms and empires. I am what you call the original Fula man. If you look it up, the Fulani kingdom is a kingdom that was established in the Western Africa. So the people that call themselves Moor are originally what you call the Fulani. So maybe you heard about the Mandingos. The Mandingo is another kingdom.
What country are you from in Africa?
I'm not from a country. I'm from a kingdom.
No, okay, but yes, we know that. What are they called today, sir?
They're called the Fulas, the Fulanis.
No, what do they call where your country is today? It has a nationality. What is your nationality?
My nationality is African. It's American. I don't have any other nationality.
Brother, come on. When you start talking like that, we gotta.
No, you know why I'm trying to avoid that because
I get what he's saying. He's not trying to. He's trying to be a unifying force, but not.
I was rocking with you until you start trying to hide.
No. You have to understand. If I speak to you,
start trying to hide, that's where it comes in at, bro. That's where the distrust comes in.
You see, that's the problem because I don't speak after the division. I speak before the division.
Yes, I hear you, but we still want to know what country, where is your homeland?
You see, right now, if you had look up the kingdom of 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, which is the Fulani kingdom, you would know exactly my homeland.
You just tell me where it's at. How about that? Where
is the Fulani kingdom still in existence today?
Is it Somali?
Foundationally, yes.
Ethiopian? Is it
No,
Somali?
No. Is there a governing Fulani body in existence today?
No, there is no governing Fulani body. But the Fulanis are made.
Then it would be very difficult to have.
So you're Nigerian, right? You're Nigerian.
No, I'm not Nigerian.
But that's where they carved it out, right? They carved it out.
You see, that's the thing. When you go and look up the Fulanis in West Africa,
Cameroon,
they goes all over Africa. From Nigeria to Niger to Ghana to Benin to Ivory Coast to Senegal to Guinea to Liberia.
If I ask you to trace your lineage back, right, and I want it documented, how far can you go back documentation-wise?
What region of the continent would that be centralized
at? The beginning
at?
of my kingdom and the end of the kingdom, from the beginning of the 17th century to the end of the 18th century.
Can you prove that documentary-wise? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
How would you? Where is it documented at? And where is your family documenting that? Because I can trace my lineage back to 1865.
You see,
matter of fact, I can go back to 1833 now.
you see, let me tell you one thing. We grew up in the land of Africa and you was told stories orally, which you guys are now trying to trace your lineage using what you call this technology. We trace our stories based on what you call oral stories that's been told throughout time.
So it's not documented, right? It's nothing documented, right?
It is documented. The same way, let me tell you another thing. Maybe I jump to tell you how things are documented, right? Today, when you go home, just look up what is the most sold book in existence. You know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you is the Bible because it's the most sold book in existence. But when you look up what is the most memorized book in existence, the book that's memorized in people's head, they're going to tell you is the Quran. Why? Because it's a book that's been memorized in people and passed down throughout time. That's what you call basically a proof.
But wouldn't that be based on primarily your region of birth?
I'm trying to rock with you, brother.
Yeah.
But when you start trying to escape, you know.
No, I'm not escaping. I'm just trying to tell you. Okay, I can tell you. I can tell you. Okay, I was born. Listen now.
You know,
I
the Mali Empire was the biggest empire.
You see, the Mali Empire is one of the biggest empires, which started in the 13th
when you
century.
Start talking like that, brother. We got to call that out, brother. We don't do that. Like, if I ask a black person where he's from, he's not going to be ashamed of it. He's going to say,
I am not. The thing is, you see, the thing is, when I tell you, this,
we got documentation to prove.
No, let me tell you. If you talk to someone who's from Africa and he just tells you, I'm from Ghana or from Senegal, and he do not get.
Well, that's what we're asking. I don't mind you going deeper, but I'm asking.
No, that's the thing. But me, I'm starting deeper.
Where did your passport say?
We don't need you to start deeper, brother. We just need a simple answer to a simple question.
What does your passport say, sir? What does your passport say? Because some nationality gave you a passport. What does that passport say? What country is that passport from?
It's
Western Africa.
I'm gonna make it simple for you, right? The country,
please, because y'all start babbling, and that's where we get into tetherland.
You see, that's the point I'm trying to make, so that you can. So now, listen to me. I was born in a country that now the colonizer called Guinea, right?
Called what?
Guinea.
Called Guinea in West Africa.
There you go. There you go. That's all we're
listen now.
That's your homeland.
That's
okay,
the country. You see,
I get you now. Now I understand that talk. The colonizer called it Guinea. The colonizer called it Nigeria. The colonizer called. Okay, I get it now.
You understand? We know that Africa was carved up in the 1870s. We know this.
And then you could have said all that other stuff later, and we would trust you. But now there's a little bit distrust when you start beating around the bush and don't want to tell us.
You know, there is no such thing.
We don't trust that.
Let me tell you. You see, this is the problem, because when I ask Americans that's born here in America, where you from or what tribe you from, they're not going to get into that. All they're going to tell you is that I'm American. But that's not the truth. You are from a tribe in America.
But isn't the tribes in Africa separated from each other? Africa is separated because you're the tribes. Y'all fight it like, I used to think that y'all were tight, but y'all fight it like over tribes. So that separates you.
You see, that's the misunderstanding.
Speak on that.
No, that's the misunderstanding many people have.
Let me help you out, King. King, let me help you out real quick, brother. The reason why we don't do tribes in America is because all our tribes have been united. All our tribes have been united. All our uncivilized tribes, which are the black native tribes, all our Creole, all our 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐻, all our African descendants of slaves, we all ride under one banner. Foundational Black American or freedmen. That's what we call ourselves, brother. We're not tribal. We have a
this is the main problem. Listen,
when we ask from where we're from, when you ask a Black American where they're from, they're gonna tell you, hey, my people from South Carolina, my people are from Louisiana, my people are from Alabama. They're gonna tell you, and then they're gonna go deeper in that because we don't do the tribe. Now, there's some people who know their tribes who say, okay, I'm Choctaw, I'm
you see, many people are just...
No, because their grandparents told them. They said,
So
hey,
now
we
listen.
this. We
Now
have this in our
listen.
family.
Many people have a misunderstanding about tribes in Africa. Tribes is not just like war between people. It's not even about tribes. It's about family line. So if you take,
I'm not saying
give
about
you an
it's about
example.
when I said that to you, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's about war. I'm saying you
So
guys are
now
arguing.
listen to
You
this.
argue
If you
over
take,
who you if you're Bantu, you argue over if you're
Yeah,
Yoruba.
brother.
I know this as a fact.
no,
My son-in-law is from Guinea. My son-in-law is from Guinea. I know that for a fact. He told me. And if you're mixed, they got a problem if you're mixed. So I'm saying you have
you
a
see,
problem within Africa. You got to
see,
tell the full truth about it.
that problem exists among people that have lack of knowledge and understanding. Like anywhere you go in the world, you're gonna find people that do not have understanding. But if you do have understanding, the main understanding is what? It's knowing your lineage to the beginning, what your family is. It's knowing that. They say that a
Brother,
tree,
I understand what you're saying, but I gotta cut you real quick because what I'm saying to you is I've been on all African panels. I realize the younger ones, they don't know what they're talking about, but the older ones tell the truth. And you're saying something different than what I hear elder Africans saying. You can say this about knowledge. You can say this about knowledge and all that, but what I'm saying to you is you guys have inner fighting. I used to think when y'all come on these panels and y'all talk for the whole Africa, like you generalize the whole Africa like y'all all tight. But I've been on panels, plenty of them, sitting back listening, and they're arguing over who's Yoruba, who's Bantu, who's your father, who's your
that's what
mother.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you that most of those people, maybe you listening to any of those channels, they're either immature or they have lack of knowledge and understanding of the foundation of African tribes. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You talk like my boy, what's his name? Dig. He calls them a Guinea. What does he call himself? I'm a Beni tribal man. He's born here in America. He's Nigerian American, but he doesn't acknowledge the Nigerian. He acknowledges his tribe only. You
understand? It's not about like being this or that. It's just knowing your identity. Because let me tell you one thing.
But here's the difference between you and Dig, and why I respect Dig, right? Because he's not afraid to say, "Hey, yeah, they call us Nigerians. Yeah, I'm a Nigerian American. Yeah, I'm not foundationally black at all." He comes to that term, he missed it. He doesn't try to lump us all in. He says, "Listen, this is my tribe. I rock with y'all FBAs, but this is my tribe. This is where I come from," and he lets it be known. But he doesn't do this. We're all African. Africa's a country. I don't look at it.
He started at the root. If you don't know the root, then you don't know where it came from.
You see, that's the misunderstanding you guys have. There is no such thing as Africa being seen as a country.
Listen, if you want FBAs to rock with you, because you were saying some real stuff, I'm not going to discount that. But if you want FBAs to rock with you, you can't be you can't be dishonest. You got to be
No, let me tell you, I was not being dishonest when I told you.
I asked you a question, and you went surfing on us.
No, the question, the reason why, let me tell you, when I answered your question, I told you why I did not answer that question at the beginning. It's because whoever colonized that land is calling that place that place. But when you go back to the history of who I am,
you should have led with that. You should have led with the honest part first, and then tell us the background later. And we can be like, okay, I can rock with you. That makes sense.
But the conversation didn't start. The conversation didn't start with that.
No, brother. We let you go on and get your description out. And that's how you brought it to us. That's why you got the feedback that you're getting. We responded to how you presented it to us.
Yeah, because I try to present myself to you as an original African man, not an African man who is talking to you after what you call the butchering of Africa. That's the misunderstanding that you are getting.
But you gotta come. You gotta come. You can't come. You see, listen. You don't want to sound like a tether, brother. You know, we were rocking with you in the beginning, but this is what tethers do. They cosplay as Black Americans too much.
No, the thing is, you have to understand.
They cosplay. They try to act like they're one of us, and we're all in this together. But then we find out they have a hidden agenda.
But listen to this right
they
now.
come from somewhere else.
You understand that foundational Black Americans have been at this game decades before some of your African brothers and sisters have even been here on the planet. We've been fighting, watching, monitoring this system.
Before they carved up and called your land Guinea, we've been on this fight.
And sometimes some of our African brothers and sisters want to come in and interject as if they are educating us on something that we've known for decades. It's not new to us. The information that you're providing, we know, and this is why when we ask questions, we generally have an answer because we are aware. But when the obfuscation starts, that's when our antennas go up because we just know.
We have to protect our lineage because too many people are coming in to infiltrate it. You know, everything you saying we were rocking with, it was sounding good, but the moment we asked you where you're from, that's where it got kind of shaky for us, brother. That word kind of.
So you see, my understanding now, when I joined your group, I do not know that you have already what you call, okay, this is us, this is me. No, I don't know that. The only reason why I joined your group is because the knowledge that you are spreading kind of makes sense. And everything I spoke about was based on the true knowledge that I have acquired. You understand? But when you ask me about when I describe myself to you, I'm thinking, okay, you are someone, if you are a foundational American man and you understand the history before Africa was carved, you're gonna do your due diligence. Let me tell you.
No, exactly. No, we do, but we're not gonna sit here and act like
we're not
gonna sit here and act like Africa is in 54 countries today.
No, it is today. But you have to understand.
No, brother. What you got to understand is this, brother. Listen. We were here before the foundations of America.
So now listen to me now. I'm gonna tell you now a story.
No, listen. Our ancestors were here before the foundations of America.
So you know your ancestors was here, right?
Hold on, King. The tribe that existed 400 years ago, the one you're trying to claim today, doesn't even exist anymore.
So now listen to me now.
It's no longer in existence. The 𝗏𝗏 tribe is gone.
Okay, so now listen to me now.
The tribe that our ancestors came from, they came over through the translate, the 400,000 slaves that made it here to the U.S.
So I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you before that translation. That's slavery that you're talking.
Brother, we know you're talking to us before that time period.
Can you listen to me for just 2 minutes?
Guess what? We know. Listen. A lot of this is what you got to understand. A lot of foundational Black Americans. We know more about your history than some of you know about your.
No, but so do you know the history?
We were taught African history. We weren't taught Black history. So a lot of us are still waking up to Black history. But as far as African history, we understand that because that's what we've been taught.
Okay, so with the Black history, have you ever been told? Listen to me now. Have you ever been told the story of how your great-grandfathers got into this land and created all the kingdom that they created before the Caucasian arrived in these lands?
A lot of us, listen, some of us know, some of us are just coming to learn and know.
Let's go back. Maybe all of you know the story of maybe Mansa Musa, right? You guys heard that?
About Mansa Musa.
Okay, you know that he's they call him the richest man that ever lived, right?
Yes, we know of Mansa Musa.
Do you know the story of the father of Mansa Musa and the uncle of Mansa Musa when Mansa Musa was young? When the kingdom of Mali started in the 11th century, 12th century. And so now let me elaborate that to you so you can listen a little bit and understand. When I hear Black Americans here saying, okay, we are aboriginal to this land and that we was here before anything, we have kingdoms here. They forget about one thing. In the 11th century, 10th century, 12th century, there was the greatest kingdom that ever existed on this planet. It's called the Kingdom of Mali. and he was founded by what you call 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶cie. 𝗔𝗔𝗶𝗵𝘁 was the father of Mansa Musa. When he founded the kingdom of Mali, when you're standing in Mali, you can see the Atlantic Ocean. And he discovered what you call a mountain of gold underneath Mali. That's why unto this day, you got the French people in Mali. So when he founded that kingdom, this is the story that was told to us at young age, orally. When he founded that kingdom,
brother, I'm not trying to be funny, brother. I don't mean to cut you off, but we do know the history of what's going on, how this particular kingdom.
You have to understand that Mansa Musa's father came.
I'm gonna get him.
I want to say, brother, I'm not trying to be funny, but it really gets down like this. The kingdom of Mali ended because, as brilliant and as wonderful as they were as a society, they did not have a defense to prevent themselves from being conquered. They did not set up any sort of structure so that they would not be taken over. And when a more powerful force came in and took over,
you see, the kingdom of Mali, was never invaded. That was way before invasion ever happened.
Can I say something?
Let me just finish this for you. You have to understand the story of the people that started the kingdom here in America.
King, that's beautiful. Can I just say one thing? All I want to say.
I'm gonna let y'all speak. Let's just land. You got 30 seconds to land your plane, brother. Get it out, and then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this story, and you guys can say it. I will listen. But you have to understand, these are stories that was told to us orally. So Mansa Musa's father built what you call 1,000 boats. This was in the 11th century, 12th century. This was before anyone even discovered these lands that you guys claim that your grandfather started here. So Mansa Musa's father took 1,000 men and 1,000 boats, and he traveled to these lands, and he never returned. We was told these stories when we was young. And later on, the kingdom was passed down to Mansa Musa's uncle. He was still 13 and 14 years old at the time. And the uncle now grabbed the gold underneath the mountain to a point that he had so much resources, and he built 10,000 boats. And 10,000 men he gathered, and he said to Mansa Musa, at the time Mansa Musa was 15, 16, he said, your father left and went to the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, and he never returned. I will go after my brother, and I will leave this kingdom in your hand. It's your duty to take care of the kingdom. So the uncle also left and came to these lands. That's the story that we was told at a young age. So our understanding is that, okay, there was the people from Africa, the original people from Africa, because you're not going to tell me that the first people that ever existed on this earth.
Okay, we'll do this.
Wrap it up.
Come on, let him finish. Let him finish. He's almost done.
I want y'all to get him. I want y'all to speak. But
yeah, you guys gonna speak to me. Just finish this thought. So the whole thing is that, okay, these people came here long ago, and they built civilization here. They built kingdoms here. You understand? And they started all these other tribes.
Are you listening to this, brother? Are you listening to this?
We're listening, but it's condescending as if we don't know history. But we're going to, like you said, let him finish.
You see, when people talk about history, you're talking about somebody's story, somebody who's telling you a story. All I'm telling you, this is not story that's written down. These are stories that we heard at a young age orally from our fathers and grandfathers.
Land your plane, stay on your topic.
That's the third time you just told us this, brother. I'm not trying to be, again, you're repeating yourself multiple times.
Yeah, you know, repetition.
The panel. But can I ask you something, Mr. King?
Go ahead.
Do you know about the Duchess that was black that came over here before 1619?
I'm talking to you.
No. I know the history that you know. Where do you resign? You resign in America?
Okay, I think.
Do you live in the United States of America?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you know about the black Duchess that came over before 1619?
Okay.
No, okay. I want you to speak passionate about it. Like you just spoke about Africa. Now speak passionate about the land that you live on. Talk about the black people who was here before the enslaved Africans came.
I just
Talk
told you
about
the
the
part of
Native
the thing is, let me tell you,
Talk
we
about
are
the
talking
Native
about
Americans,
we are
sir.
talking about a vast
Sir,
story, right?
Mr. King.
Hold on.
No, you
According
told
to
us from
him,
the African
according to
perspective.
Perspective.
he's
Exactly.
saying
I told
that
you about the
Mansa
African
Musa's
perspective.
father came over here and
I
populated the
wasn't finished.
tribe. That's what he's
Talk
saying.
about the Native Americans that was dark skinned, that was on the plantation before the African enslaved people came over to the United States and the 13 colonies. You talked about a land that you don't even reside on. You talk about a country that you're not even from, but you live here and you don't know the history of this place that you're paying taxes to. You're paying into a government system that you found that's better than your government system that you're from. And you don't even know the history of this land or the people from this land. And you trying to be condescending and try to act like the things that we don't know is the things that we know and you know, because who documented that information that you're trying to recite to us?
I have one
Was it an
question.
African? Was it an African? Was it someone that looked like you who wrote down their history and put it in the books for everybody to learn it? But yet you don't know the land history that you're from. You don't know about the Native Americans who was emancipated also. You don't know about the free black people who was never enslaved. They got deported. You don't even know about Central Park. And a lot of y'all like to go there. A lot of y'all like to claim that y'all, I'm from New York, I'm from this, but y'all can't tell me about Central Park or the Negro land, aka black land. But yet, and we know black land was all the way started in the 1700s. Guess what's enslaved in the 1700s? You know, those Africans, those natives. But yet you tell me about a land that you don't even reside in, about a
Listen to me,
country
sister.
that your
Everything you're
bloodline
saying
is
right
not
now,
from. I'm
these are
not
stories that's
finished.
been written here.
That your bloodline, that your tribe is
She's a
not even
moderator, so
from.
don't overtalk her. She's a moderator.
That your tribe is not even from, and you try to be condescending on history that's not even
There
from
is
your
no being
people, while you
condescending
living
here.
over here
I'm
with
giving
history
you
from
a part of
ours.
story,
Sir,
a
I'm gonna
part
ask
of
you not to
history
do
that
that.
you.
I'm gonna ask you not to do that because I know that y'all get mad when I start talking. I'm not being disrespectful. It's the truth. You talk about your land, a country that you're not from, where your tribe's not even respected at, and you try to bring that history to us if we don't know it. And you get mad because this is how I tell you. You're wrong. You don't even know the land of the people that you living on. You don't even know the history of this land, yet you're here saying that our government is better than your government. How I know this? Because you pay taxes to this government. Stop being
Well
condescending.
said, sweetie. Well said, sweet.
Well
Well
said.
So
said.
go ahead, Miss
Well
LB. I'm sorry.
Well
I don't
said.
feel
I'm
good,
sorry.
y'all.
I forgot what I said. I was listening to you. That was a
I know
really
she
good
get
one.
she got a repeater. She got a repeater.
She just spoke. She just spoke.
Come back up, sir. Come back up, sir. Come back up. I know our women like to drop nuclear bombs. They just get right to it. They don't have that chill to just they just want to cut you off at the throat and let y'all figure it out. But come back up.
Whoopi always
They speak with
demolishes
fire and
somebody.
passion.
That's why I love her. She always demolishes somebody.
Okay, so you gotta understand that
She's sweet. She's sweet, but she turned into a wolf. Everything she said is story, is history that's written here in America that we learned about. I'm telling you about history that you never heard of before. I'm not telling you I don't know about Central Park. I don't know about the Civil War. I don't know about slavery here. I know indeed about all of this because I went to school and I learned all this. But what I'm telling you is about story, a history that you don't even have no idea of. All
We do
I
have
hear,
an idea,
whenever I
sir.
talk to African Americans,
brother,
all
I
they tell me
promise.
is that we are indigenous to this land.
King,
That's all they say.
King, I want you to hold on real quick because people want to ask you questions, and I don't want it to go.
As long, let me tell you, I
Hold on,
respect
King.
you and I
Please.
respect everyone
Right.
in here.
King,
Can I
And I
say
will
this
not
too
raise
much?
my voice on
King,
anyone.
relax.
I
got you.
understand one thing.
I got you,
I
brother.
will listen to you.
Can
I
I get the
understand one
definition
thing.
of African
You
Okay,
are
then
all,
try silence for a little bit, brother.
Hold on, Wolfie, and hold on, cousin. I want Ivy, and a King. I think has a question for you. There's another King up here, King Vincent. Okay, I think he has a question for you, King Abdullah. Okay, just hold on. King, go ahead and ask your question real quick.
Okay, King, you were speaking about the Mali Empire and about Mansa Musa. Have you ever heard about 𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗶 Negro?
yes.
Okay, then what you are saying, what you're trying to say is that the Mali Empire. No, let me ask you this: are you Muslim?
Yes, I am.
What culture did 𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗵 Negro had?
Say that again.
What culture is the culture of 𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗴 Negro?
Okay, is he Googling there?
Now let him Google. It
Right,
helps.
gotta be.
You said what?
You said that you knew
𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵𝗁 Negra.
𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵 Negro. You can Google it, and now you're gonna learn who he is.
Okay, so what is the point of the question? I do not understand.
The point of the question is that
What sect of the Islamic faith was he?
no.
You jumping from one thing to another one. Are we talking about?
These are important questions because I hear you talking, and what you're trying to say is that some African culture had a big influence in the Americas, and maybe also
That's what we're hearing.
Islam culture. But the reason why I ask you these questions is that
No, I did not say anything about Islamic culture because
no, but the way you speak, it
the
sounds
Mali
like you're going
Empire
that way.
only knew Islamic culture through Mansa Musa. And the story that I told you was way before Mansa Musa became the king of the Mali Empire. So you are misunderstanding the story that I told.
So this is what I get you're saying. What you're saying is that two kings, the king and the brother of a king, and then the son Mansa Musa. But the two kings left and they started the tribes in America. Am I hearing that right?
They came to these lands.
They came to this land.
That's the story that we was told at early age.
I'm not for or against that. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. Is that I'm not telling you.
I can tell you that it happened.
Okay.
But the thing is
I heard this
Mansa
too.
Musa, it didn't have a big influence in the Americas.
Now Mansa Musa, you talking about Mansa Musa. I'm not talking
No,
about
he's
Mansa
talking
Musa.
about the
Musa
two
and his
brothers.
brother.
They did not have a large influence in the
Even if
Americas.
they did not have a large influence, but they came to these lands.
So-
That's the story
so
that I
it'd be-
told.
So here's also what we got to do, because this is what happens. A lot of times y'all get these stories. It's almost like the same story of when y'all get here. Somebody told y'all when y'all got here not to rock with the Black Americans. Somebody told y'all that. It's always somebody told me this is how it was, but there's nothing documented to prove that, is what we're saying. So if you got some documented proof of that, like we have, like Black Americans, our history is well documented. Nobody can go against what we say because it's been documented. We got the documents, we got the civil courts, we got the marriage certificates, we got the unaliving certificates, we got the classifications, we got the skills that these brothers had when they came here. They weren't just dealing with just people who knew nothing. These brothers already came with skills of architecture. They already came with skills of blacksmith, copper, all the above. They were the original. Too much tradesmen and skillful. We also know that the Moors, which is just another word for black, another word for Negro, right? The Black Moors, they came over here and
you see too much. You're getting to the point. All I'm saying is that not only I told you this oral story, to tell you, okay, when I hear Black Americans saying that we are aboriginal to this land, no. The same way Mansa Musa's father and uncle came here, maybe other also people came here to these lands. I'm not saying it's only one type of people that came to
Brother,
America.
we are wholeheartedly acknowledging. We are wholeheartedly acknowledging that through the global landmass that occurred, tribes traveled the lands. We are not disacknowledging in any way that the Mansa Musa brothers, came to the Americas. What we are saying is that that tree,
not documented. It's oral knowledge.
Well, I'll even concede that. I'll concede that they came. What I would say,
especially in the Black community, especially in African community, was transferred down through oral. We understand that, but
too much. The whole point is what? The whole point is that
I'm saying the brothers just transplanted a tree from Africa into America. Did the tree eventually bear fruit and multiply?
That's fine.
For a bit.
You see,
for
that's
a
fine.
bit, but it did not translate into any significance as far as today's FBA ethnogenesis.
Hold on, I want to hear King finish what he was saying because he was
so. The whole point I was trying to make
not you,
is that
King Abdullah, King Vincent. I'm sorry, I want to hear King Vincent because he's saying something.
And we shouldn't forget something what happened to Africans and the location of Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, I think Senegal also partly. They were invaded by the Muslims. Those people weren't Muslims. Before Mansa Musa, the people came from Spain, Portugal. They fled into North Africa, into the Sahel, and then they landed into Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, that location. And that location, you can find it on the old maps, documented, was called Negro land, also Lam Lam.
You see what he's just saying?
One moment. They started that land over there, Lam Lam, Negro land, and that was created by the Hebrew Israelites. And because of the Arabs keep chasing them, they went into West Africa. Till this day, you have Hebrew Israelites in West Africa, actually all over Africa, but the reason why you have Hebrew Israelites in West Africa is because of they fled from Negro land into West Africa, you know?
Okay.
And then later you get Mansa Musa and his brother, but maybe before Mansa Musa and his brother, people went into the Americas from out of Africa. That could be. We don't know. We weren't there. But the documented history, actually the history that I just
you see that documented history that you just talked about, King, the one that you just enumerated. You said the Europeans came and inflated Africa and forced.
I never mentioned the Europeans.
No, so you said something about the Arabs, right? So let me tell you, I'm from a kingdom. This is why I started with my kingdom. The kingdom of the Fulani, you can look it up to this day. There are nomads and merchants. They travel
from that's in North Africa. I know that.
So now, let me tell you now the story of how really Islam came into West Africa. It's because our grandfathers used to travel to the Middle East. That place that you see today, they call it like Arabia. That's what is called the Middle East, like all Egypt and all that. So our grandfathers used to travel there to go and do trade. So while they're over there, that's how they heard the word of God has been sent to this last prophet, who was an orphan child who grew up and raised into prophethood. And they came to Africa with this message. And that's how many of the people in West Africa turned into the religion of Islam. Like most of the people are just hearing these stories that, okay, people has been forced into becoming Muslims. No, that is a false history that's being taught to people. Like even Mansa Musa, how did Mansa Musa become a Muslim? It's because at his time, he was the greatest king of Africa. And what happened? A message came to him from our grandfathers, the merchants that went to the Middle East. And they came and they said, there is a a message that's been sent to Arabia saying that, okay, there is only one God and he is worthy, only one who was worthy of worship. And that's how Mansa Musa became a Muslim. And then he did all the 5 pillars of being a Muslim. And the 5th pillar was
Approximately what year, if I'm not mistaken, no, because your timeline's a little off. Approximately what time frame was Mansa Musa? Early 12th century, 13th century?
Mansa Musa started his reign around the 14th century. This was way before after his father.
But Islam at that point had already infiltrated Africa.
Exactly. No.
The idea that because what you were saying, what you are implying is that somehow Mansa Musa didn't get his Islamic faith from his father or his brother, that they didn't grow up with that faith. That is what you are implying in that statement.
I'm not implying that. I'm not implying anything. I'm just telling you, through oral stories that's being told, Mansa Musa became a Muslim. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because when you go into the Mandingo tribe, to this day, I'm telling you, in West Africa, there is the Mandingo tribe. Some of them do not see themselves in any religion. They're practicing what you call animism. And some of them practice what you call voodoo. And when you go to West Africa, they still exist.
Hold on, King.
To this day.
Hold on, King. I want to go to Wolfie, and then we got to go to Miss MJ. Okay?
Thank you. This goes very well with your topic, Too Much. This is a prime example of a buffer. He is speaking on a time that does not really matter in our lifetime. He look at our stories.
History matter to me.
No. Listen, honey. You talk about our story. It's like 159 years was so long ago. That's when we got emancipated. Notice how he run. But this is a prime example. They try to insert their history on top of our leaders while dismissing. I understand by listening to a lot of them is they only know a little of American history. They know none of the other history from the translated slavery. They know none of the South American history and none from the islands, only 1804, because that's the most popular one. They know nothing of Jamaican history, Puerto Rico, South America, or Black Americans. They only know what's popular.
Exactly.
And it's disheartening sitting here when they try to talk about the translated slavery and they focus is on United States of America. And I hear you say, Mr. King, the Americas, but he couldn't catch on to you keep saying the Americas. You know? Because he don't know that you come from the South America, which had the most enslaved Africans. They came over and translated slave because they don't know your history. And they barely know ours. And we learning yours. And it's a respect. And they get mad because I can call it out just like anyone on this panel can call it out. You don't know history, honey.
If you wonder why the fun part is in the chat is because I moved to sub only chat, and that's because the likes, man. Y'all been getting this good info, but y'all ain't been clicking the like button. We're gonna end the live right around 10 a.m. I got some things to do, but y'all, I know I restarted the live, but that's why I had to cut the chat off because I realized y'all really wasn't showing no love.
Over 100 people in the chat. We should be at least at 10,000 likes.
I mean, I don't know why I can't even get to 100,000 likes. The game I'm giving over here, I've been in some.
I'm thinking 12 to 15.
100,000 likes, and I'm like, man, they over there dancing.
I'm trying to give some grace and mercy, so. But I'm with too much with that. I'm going to have to jump because I do have something else to say. I just want to jump on to add a couple points because I think that this is an excellent to Wolfie's point. This is exactly what we were, why we have to make the stand that we do, right? Because, and I'm going to give a reference that's similar to the historically Black colleges and universities, right? It's like you join or you attend a Black college or university, but yet the Black history is not required. That becomes a complete oxymoron because you have to understand that the purpose of anything that you embark upon, whether it's from an educational pursuit or whether that you're here from the Americas, we understand that there's a lot of components that make up, that there's a African history that goes way back that's aligned with some other components. But understand, I could take offense to that, on all different levels, because of the fact that we have tons of people, to Too Much's point earlier, that have been documented here on this land. And our goal is not division. Our goal is respect and unity. The unity does not, it's more from you have to respect, it's a hierarchical. We've been, unfortunately, psychologically brainwashed to allow whomever comes in to teach and preach and
Exactly.
inundate us with their culture so far deep that a lot of our culture, our own culture, is missing. The goal at this point is not to disrespect who you are, what you bring to the table. The goal is for us to say, hey, we would like for you to take grammatical pause and learn about who the blacks that were here. That means the indigenous black people, the enslaved black people. Learn that history first, and don't allow the fact that someone, and I know that Too Much was absolutely correct. Wolfie has also touched on it. These buffers, when you come to this country, they're telling you not to engage with us. And that is absolutely ridiculous, because guess what? You cannot survive without us. And one of the things that has to happen is that we have to have a unity within our own for us to move to the next level. We've been fighting, and we have laid that foundation so strong for the blacks, but guess what? Everyone else comes in and say, oh, I came over. Guess what? We have more people that were ripped and pulled into this country that don't have that ability to translate back and can go back to a tribe that is even recognizable. So, at this point, we are fed up with the disrespect. We want to not be separated, but we need to have we have to have peaceful respect, and you can't keep doing that. It's ignorant. And if you want to allow yourself to continue to be ignorant, then be that. But the movement that's happening now is allowing a clear understanding of who the original black people were, who we are. And that includes indigenous people that were here on this land. This was our land. And
Yes.
we do have the documents. And I'm one of them that has the documents that goes all the way back.
Yes.
And I have the oral history that goes along with it. So that goes along with, I'm quite sure, a lot of other people here. So again,
we're not discounting the oral history. We're not approving or disproving what he's saying. That may have happened, but let's not act like Mansa showed up and he was the only one there.
Exactly. We you know what the thing is, we've been loving everyone else. We're trying to love ourselves at this point. So hopefully you can respect that, but we love ourselves so much at this point. Lo siento mucho.
So here's the thing. The brother was giving some good game earlier when we started talking about business. It wasn't until we asked his brother where he's from where it got a little shaky. And we were nosing his terminology because he kept using us. And I allow it because I know y'all was catching it too, but I'm just like, why does he keep saying us? Like he's one of us, and we know he's not from here. But when I asked him where he's from and where his homeland from, and he tried to say he claimed all of Africa, that's when it got shaky, man. That's when the distrust come in, because that's exactly the same playbook that Tethers used. They don't want you to figure out exactly where their homeland is. They try to play this guessing game, and I'm African. That's all you need to know. Or, you know, I'm this tribe and I'm fully, you know, they do all this stuff and you just kind of be like, what? I just asked you where you're from, brother. Like if I ask a Black American where they're from, they don't give me all that. They tell me where they're from.
Facts.
But when you start trying to be ambiguous and all this other stuff and try to act like you're in what you're in, you're going through the same thing we're going with. He's giving a lot of advice, and he starts saying, you know, this is why Black Americans and this is why the Black community, and I just allowed it because I want y'all to hear it. I want y'all to hear it. I want y'all to listen and pay attention. They play good cop and bad cop, y'all. That's what they do.
But
there's some that
why
gonna come
do
in
they
here and
feel
wag
like
their
they can
finger.
do that?
Because you know what it is, Wolfie, and this
And
is
they don't even look it up. They don't even research. They don't even see eye numbers.
But that's because that's the way that they
Why?
when
That's
they were
what they
coming
want to
over here.
feel superior.
You know what? That's
can
because
explain
that's
that.
I would say it's a whole lot of youth.
when they come over, and when people are, and I can't speak because I wasn't there, but what I see as part of behavioral and the way that they engage with us, you can't be conveniently in the fight. It's like what our parents used to say: you're either in the house or you're out. You can't be running in and out of
But
my house.
they keep saying this is what they've been taught in school or this is what someone told them. It's no accountability. And then they forget that this is not a Black experience or a melanated experience. This is a descendant of slave experience. This is a freeman experience. And they don't never acknowledge that it was Black people in America. They think that we were all enslaved. It blows their mind, and they think we all came on that boat from Africa. They dismiss.
You gotta say that again,
They
Wolfie.
dismissed the group, even though they didn't heard it so many
Or
times.
they believe that the
They
slaves
dismissed it.
built,
They call it Patinians, but they dismissed the fact that it was natives and Africans on the same plantation mixing
or
blood,
they believe that the
and they dismiss it because they need to feel connected to us while they live on this land. But our bloodline is not even the same. Y'all quick
Exactly.
to say you the original. Okay, be the original. We the hybrid of it. Shit.
It is what it is. And I'm gonna say this, and I'll offer an option
And I know
for.
some people don't like that word hybrid out. Please forgive me.
I'm gonna say I will offer this as a recommendation for potential solution moving forward. Become an ally, right? Become an ally to understand that you don't
Marxism.
know what you don't know, right? And that your goal should be to, hey, let me understand. Be more intellectual in your movement and your engagement when we talk about, again, this disrespect. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand, then be understood. You're coming across without knowing who you're dealing with. Are there some people that still have the enslaved mentality? Absolutely. And guess what? We understand and recognize that, but it's oxymoronic and it's less than intelligent to think that because of the fact that we were blessed with a natural tan that started from birth, that all of us are aligned with that. Take some time to do. There is a lot of unspoken, unwritten history in these United States of America. And you need to take the time to be an ally if you really want to know and how to be a part of, making us more united. That's what you should do instead of standing off and saying, oh, oops, they're doing something. I'm going to conveniently jump on this side and I'm going to say, oh, I went to an HBCU, so I'm going to be Black and I can't find anything else that, oh, I'm sorry, I went down that path, but forgive me. I want to say, my family, I love you all without a price tag, and I land my plane. I have to step off.
We don't got no 20 million to pay them, so we don't care.
Let me go to Monster Dread real quick, and then I'm gonna go to Truth or Lies, and then I'm gonna have Wolfie and close this out again, because I got some things I gotta do. So, Monster, I want you to speak, and I want Truth Over Lies to speak for the next. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. Hey, Too Much, and thank you for what you do, man. I think I've come across your platform several times. Well, I'm from Nigeria. Let me introduce myself real quick, and I'm from Benin. On the Benin Kingdom.
Your fellow brother is Big. He's also from Benin. He called him a Benin tribal man. That's what he called himself.
Oh, King Vincent?
No. Another person named Big. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. I met him before here on this on your live. Yeah. What I want to say is, I came out here to this country. I was 18 years old, right after high school, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I've never seen. I did not notice any difference before I came here, and years after, even till almost a year ago, I never looked at black people differently. This is the honest truth. Until this TikTok came out and all this division, I hear on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. For the past 23 years in this country, never felt it. No animosity from any black American person. We've worked together, different jobs and stuff. Never felt anything negative. And I've always thought that I got their back the way they got my back, and they've always proven that. You know what I'm saying? And I've always never thought of any kind of separation. I felt like anywhere we are as black people, we're supposed to like stick together because we have a common enemy. That's what I thought. I might be mistaken. Lately now, and I've been thinking I have been mistaken. So someone like me that came here at an early age at 18 and just, have a little growing up here in America, assimilate myself with the society and the people and get to love the community and have a professional job right now. Someone like me, how will I feel now after 23 years of thinking we all together, we all brothers? And for the past 1 year with this TikTok, it's been so much divisions between Africans and black Africans and black Americans. So how will someone like us that don't have these animosity towards black Americans, where do we put ourselves and how do we feel? How do you guys want us to feel, or how do you guys want me to feel?
Listen, this is all you got to do. Respect us, and we're gonna respect you.
That's always been that. Always been that.
Then we don't have a problem. Yeah, but we don't have a problem with that.
No, and don't speak against us.
Right, we don't have a problem.
Never done that. It's not a lot of folks that do that.
Right. No.
What's your Nigerian tribe, if you don't mind me asking? What's your Nigerian tribe, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm from Benin. I'm from Edo State.
Okay. The reason I ask is because we have a lot of Yorubas and Igbos out here. We have a few hosts, so we don't have all the tribes. I'm in Houston. And I have felt it. I have defended a young lady working at a Walmart and someone in her culture attire called the girl a kata. It's floating somewhere around here on some kind of YouTube. And I remember over 20 years ago, remember my Yoruba friends that I met, and they was new to America, teaching me that word and saying, if you ever hear it, it's being disrespectful. The reason she was calling this girl an akata is because she got in the line with more items. And it was supposed to be 15 items, and she got in the line, so she decided to disrespect. But I will never let nobody disrespect. And the girl was Nigerian herself. But don't disrespect, and we do hear it. We do see it. And I see it more on social media. And it's no hatred towards anyone from Africa. It's just saying, as Black Americans, this is where we're from, and we need to come together as a whole Black American.
So here's what's going on. A lot of people are catching strays, and that's what happens when tough talk, when people start entering the tough talk and arrogance. A lot of people who don't deserve are going to catch strays, and that's just what happens. We're not here to denigrate you or anybody from the continent, but when people coming over from that continent attack us, we're going to stand on business.
That's how it should be, definitely.
We're gonna shut them down, and we're gonna hit them with the hard truth. See, we don't need to lie and make up stuff like they do. We don't have to believe stereotypes like they do. we can just speak to what's actually happening that's true.
That's
and when
true.
we do that, what happens is a lot of people catch strays. A lot of people catch feeling like, oh, you know, I hurt my feelings too, and I ain't do nothing to you.
They don't
and
like us.
And we're like, man, the only thing, get your mans. Get your mans. Call out your mans. Instead of us, because you don't want us doing it. It's better if you do it. If you call out the tethers, then we don't have to. See, when we have Sambos, we call out our Sambos. We let everybody in the black community knows who's the Sambos and who's not. We call them out so other groups don't have to call them out. We know, oh yeah, we've been told y'all he was a sellout. Or we've been told y'all he was a Sambo. We've been told y'all he was Kate. We've been told y'all. So don't come wagging your finger at us because we told y'all already. If you didn't know, you just wasn't listening because we told you. But the problem is y'all not calling out y'alls. So if y'all do a better job at calling out y'all, then nobody has to catch it straight.
Right.
Nobody has to catch it straight.
Another thing, brother.
That's what I see that is missing. Y'all don't call your people out who are undermining FBA USA. You have a lot of people from Africa, from the Caribbean, sitting on positions in politics who decide for 54 million FBA people. They undermine them. They undermine their reparations. That's done by Caribbean people and Africans who pretend to be FBA USA. If you see them, on your, one moment. If you see them on your screen, on your television, speaking about reparations, you think that it's someone from the nation of the United States, the FBA USA people. But in fact, they are all from the Caribbean or from Africa. We don't hate you. We want you to check your own people and put them in their place. I thank God, I thank the Most High, that none of my people do this kind of stuff in the United States. I'm from Suriname. If one Suriname people try to do that to FBA USA, we will check them. We don't do that. And we have people over there in the United States.
King, thank God.
Something is collectively wrong with Caribbeans and Africans on the positions where they decide about, important social and financial things that concerns the FBA USA people. So stop with that. And if you don't do it, you're a good person. Check your people, please.
Well, King Vince. Another thing too, I want to say to you, King Vince. I don't know where you're from. You say you're from where? Sierra Leone?
I live in Netherlands, but I was born in Suriname. That's on the north side of South America, between British Guyana, French Guyana, and Brazil.
What's your population in that country?
My population is very small.
What is it?
We have about 500,000 in Europe and 500,000 in Suriname.
Okay, that's okay. Okay. You say you guys don't have, you don't know a lot of people from your country who does that to the FBAs in America. That's fine, probably because your population is not that much, and there's not a lot of people in your population who is always in politics or who have influence in this.
The thing is that the reason why I speak up.
Can I add this,
Let me finish here, please, man. I'm sorry, sir. Hold on.
130 million African enslaved are in South America, descendant of African enslaved in South America. 130 million descendants of African slaves. South America got brought the most.
Right. I was asking specifically about where King Vincent was from. I said that to say this. The reason why we probably have a lot of people in the government or in other political positions in America is probably because of the population. I'll speak for Nigeria, for example. We're almost 300 million people in Nigeria. That's why almost everyone hates us as Nigerian. You know, in Africa.
You have how many in Nigeria?
Close to 300 million.
300 million in Nigeria?
Over 300 million where?
Oh, yeah, definitely. In Nigeria.
Where?
Nigeria.
In Nigeria, he's saying.
Nigeria has a big population, that's true.
300 million is in Nigeria?
Yes, that's why when they be over here talking.
How is that number of being an effective force in America?
I gotta Google it.
I'm not saying it's
over
false
here in America. It's 300 million in Nigeria.
I'm just saying the reason why we're so spread out, the reason why we in every country is the reason why we like. It's not because of we like bad people. People just hear our name a lot because we're so many of us, and we've been traveling for a very long time. You know, and on that thing I want to address too. The idea that we were told. I don't know if it's in Nigeria or in America that not to mess with black people in America. I have never, I put this on my mother and my father, I mean, both souls rest in peace. I have never been told that. I've never heard it. None of my friends have ever told me, or even, I've never heard that story or heard it at all from anywhere, from no one except online, that black folks from Africa were told when it comes to America not to mess with FBA people. I've never heard that story at all until TikTok, honest to God. And one last
everything. I'm still stuck on that 200. So you mean our 49 million? Our 49 million is competing with y'all 232 million?
Well, yeah, one thing you got to realize too is Europe and America still control Africa. That's something you got to realize too much. They still do.
Don't worry, my favorite saying: you cannot compete where you cannot compare.
In Nigeria, and you can't flip over no damn tables over there.
They can flip over tables. They be flipping over tables with each other.
We don't have military. We don't have the military. We don't have the air force like y'all do. If y'all ain't got no military, got no air force, China will be running y'all down as well. So
tell him the truth, Mr. Monster.
That's not Air Force. That's called unity.
Sleeping TT.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now,
32. I thought. I'm sorry.
No, we got sleeping Joe. They got sleeping Tutu. What's his name?
Yes, we do. We got to sleep. We got a dead president. Not even sleepy president.
We had one.
We got
not y'all. We both had one. But I remember during that election, it was the most. And I was tuned in 100%. And I seen tribal.
Our president is not sleepy. Our president is dead. It's a dead president.
Hold on, sweetie. We got to hear from True over live, and then I want to hear from Bruce, and then we got to close this thing out.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I seen that election.
I want to hear from Truth over live. Monster, man, I don't listen. There's no, you're a good brother. You're a good brother. Nobody saying anything against you or Nigeria. I'm just looking at the numbers, and it's just, brother. Don't ever let foundational Black Americans get 230 million in this country.
It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that's going on, man. That's not making. I'm gonna leave it at that.
The powers that be, they never want us to go above 60, 70 million. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because if we get to close to 30, 40% of their population, there's going to be mass. There's going to be changes all over this country.
If you ain't got the weapons, you ain't got the military, you can't do anything, brother.
Baby, you sadly. This is America.
They're locking it in right now, bro. They're locking it in right now.
Listen, even without it, we got brothers in the military. Okay, listen, even without it, we're gonna make a change, brother. We're already.
But no, Monster said he seen the movie.
Here, man. I'm here with all the Black community, man. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm down.
Okay, there you go. Just be ready. I was saying, just be ready. But
I've always been down, man. I've always been ready, man. That's why it's a Black person. It don't matter where it's at. Japan, China, anywhere. I'm down for a Black person. That's it.
That's another thing that we've asking our melanated brothers and sisters. When y'all come over here, especially if y'all come into America, we expect y'all to be amplifying our voice.
Most of us are like that, though.
Being a dissension to what we're trying to do.
Most of us are like that, brother.
Amplify our voice. You need to be on code, in step with. When we out there marching, you need to be like, "Hey, brother, I'm here with you. What y'all need? Y'all need some water. We riding with y'all. We gonna turn things up. We don't need this. Oh, I don't want to get deported. No.
I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen, bro. I never think about that at all, man.
Exactly.
I'm down with you.
Especially if you're a citizen, you better be standing on business with us when we get up out there, because what happens to us, if it can happen to us, it can happen to you.
Bro, I know.
What we're saying is we're the ones that are gonna we're the ones on the front line. We're the Marines.
I'm gonna say one more thing too much, for then I'll leave, please. I'll not leave, but I'll let the person speak. Bro, I know that whatever happened to you happened to me because I've been a victim. I'm not gonna say this now because of what happened to me, but I've been profiled just because of my skin color. It's not because of it. So I know whatever happened to y'all, they're not going to be looking like, oh, he's an African, or he's an African American.
Yeah, you've experienced a part of it.
I have.
Here's what I say: if you guys are dressed in your cultural attire, the less of that will happen. We want y'all to stay who y'all are and still be riders. Just be Nigerian, be riders. And then when you come over to our side, let us know who you are, and we're like, okay, come on, you ready to ride? Okay, good. Okay, let's ride. We can do it that way.
Nigerians are riders, bro. Nigerians are riders, man. Believe me.
I didn't say they weren't. I didn't say they weren't. I'm saying let's deal with the black consciousness. Let's get this ism and let's give some of it to y'all, and y'all bring that ism and we combine our isms together and we do what needs to be done. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. If you want to be a true ally, right? Be ready to ride. Be ready to stand on business. And do not be ashamed of who you are. Don't try to be like us. Be who you are, and we will respect you more. But when you come over here and they start, not you, Monster, but when you come over here, when certain groups come over here and they start cosplaying, pretending like they're us, and doing all that backbiting and stuff, and the kata and all that stuff, we just gonna get you about the paint. That's why a lot of people with Nigerian last name that are running for office, they're not going to be able to get in office. You know why? Because Black Americans are looking at them like, nah, man, I can't trust that last name. Oh no, we're not putting it. We already seen what happened when they got into office and got into power. We seen the
I would only add.
Go ahead, cousin.
I would only add that sometimes you just need to sit in the back pew for a little bit before y'all run up to the microphone.
That's it. And make sure you tell the people, hey, do not disrespect Black Americans in their own country. Don't do it. Let them do what they're going to do. If anything, just back them up and reinforce. You know, what does cousin say? I got 180 degree of your front. I just need you to get 180 degree of my back. That's the best thing you can do, is watch out who's coming from the back and block off the tethers from getting up in the mix. So you need to fight off the tethers, and we're going to worry about everything else.
And I think on that thing too, I think if most people, I mean, especially Africa, on one thing too is we like television, radio, and other stuff is pretty almost new to Africa, and a lot of us don't listen to these things. All we do is watch movies. If we have any time,
you're heavily propagandized.
All we do is just watch
heavily
movies and stuff. So a lot of us do not know all these things. And believe me, I knew a little bit of history until when I moved to this country. Started watching History Channel and National Geography. So that led me into other learning. You understand what I'm saying? I just think majority of us, I think, is just ignorance. It's not because we have a bad intentions and stuff or try to stop what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just lack of understanding and lack of knowledge to history. That's what I think that is.
Their ignorance hurt when they spreading lies and talking like the white tea. When you get up here and they say hip hop and GANG, as if that's all of us and majority of us.
Leave that N-word alone. Y'all don't.
And on that thing too with the word akata, my brothers and sisters, listen though, that I've been called. You know, that is like a behavior or character. Like if you.
We don't care. We don't want to hear it.
No,
we don't even want to hear the definition of it. We don't care.
No,
it's
not nothing. If it's nothing,
but it's not negative. It's not.
If it's a negative, the answer is no.
When you use it, we know you're saying something negative before it or after. We don't speak all the languages, and it has crossed border lines. We hear not only do we hear Europeans saying it, we hear people from your tribe saying it. We hear people from the Igbo tribe. We hear people from Ghana saying. I have heard South Africans saying it. I have heard other. It is used to be disrespectful,
but it's
in
but
a
it's
disrespectful
not,
manner.
But it's not.
We
It's
don't
not
care.
It's okay.
We don't care. We don't care because if you ask me not to say a word that's disrespectful for you, I know not to say it.
I don't use it. But I'm just saying that I don't. You know, it's not an insultive term. But I do not use it because I know how.
I just need you to understand. For those of us who have a problem with the N-word, the N-word is a problem.
I got you. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't. It's not. I'm not out here to argue with anybody or to even cause any drama. I'm just letting y'all know it's not every African.
Not to roll this on, but brother needs to get out of here. Too much got to get out of here. So let's roll on to Truth. Is that you?
And then I'm going to have Sweet Wolf and Cousin close us out. So go ahead, Truth. You've been waiting patiently. Truth, unmute your mic. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So, and thank you for having me up. I just want to say it's going to be hard for us to become unified if people do not accept the truth instead of the narrative or the propaganda. I know that they want to put us all in the same boat and say that we were all Slavs, but we actually were not Slavs. We were enslaved, but we're not the people that it came from. And the 12 million, that was them too. That was not us. Or it wasn't so-called Africans as well. It was the majority of them did land in South America. But if you do the numbers and go with the census records and things, you can find out the truth about the actual numbers, because I know that there's a lot of discrepancies in that. And as far as Black inventors and what was here before all the other demographic of people came here, we were a highly advanced technological hub, right? We were the first ones out of the water from Colorado to Mississippi. We had buildings, monolithic structures, and technology, free energy, everything. That's what we had. A lot of their buildings that they have now, some of them are still in existence. So some of the old buildings are still in existence over 1,000 years. And they just built on top of our cities. They flooded it out with man-made lakes, and then they made national parks out of the rest. So it was our land from the beginning. We're not foreign descendants, and that's what native means, foreign descendants. We're not that. We've always been here. And according to a little bit about what Dr. Claude Anderson said, is that they were under contract is right. Okay. But as far as like coming from a different landmass, no. We have to understand that melanated people covered all land masses. So respectively, we're not the same people. We come from different people. Okay. And so they have it confused because of religious and stuff like that, but I'm not going to get too much into that. I just encourage people to do their own research of where the origins of these things came from and who shaped the mind of the current populace today.
Okay, real quick, I gotta let Mango speak because he's been up here and he's been quiet. I gotta let him say something before we close down. Mango.
Can I say one more thing about Black inventors? The businesses, the modern day businesses now profit and benefit off of our inventions and our patents. And Nineveh, or whatever that, Nivea, that's just one.
NVIDIA.
Yeah, Nvidia. It's just one.
Okay, very good. Mango.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you for saying that. Mango, are you there? Mongo, are you there? Okay. Mongo, we appreciate you, brother. You're always welcome up here. I apologize. You didn't get a chance to speak much, but we did hear from you, but I wanted to give you an opportunity right now. Go ahead and close us out, Sweetie and Cousin. Go ahead and close us out.
Cousin, you want to go and tell them about the media, or do you want me to go first?
Well, I'm going to tell them about the media. The new Black media, once again, family. Professor Black Truth, The Black Authority, 𝗤𝗏 Nasheed, Vicky Dillard, Lisa Cabrera, Torian Rain, Afro Elite. These are your grassroots media brothers and sisters who are giving the knowledge that how we are going to stay on code, encouraging us to stay on code, encouraging us to reach one each and every day. Become a stronger member in the B1 Brigade so that we can fortify the grassroots even more.
Can you repeat it one more time? One more time. Thank you so much. If you can.
Professor Black Truth, The Black Authority, Vicky Dillard, 𝗤𝗏 Nasheed, Afro Elite, Lisa Cabrera, and there are others. But what we must do is amplify their voices and become members of the new black media.
There we go. Just real quick before you close this out, make sure y'all click the link in the bio. There's 4 things: the FBA, a digital bill of rights. It talks about the shadow banning and how they need to start treating content creators. We need to get that we need to get that to the highest level on these platforms. So y'all go ahead and download that. It's absolutely free. Make sure you when it says dollar amount, all you gotta do is place 0 in the dollar amount and say I want this, and you can download that PDF file. Download the FBA treaty. Download the FBA Code of Honor, and download the FBA Constitution. All 4 of those are PDF files, and they're absolutely free. Just click the link in my bio to get them. Go ahead, Sweetie.
I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank the panel. And I want to give the meeting. Please join us tomorrow at, what's your time, Pacific?
5 a.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central time, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Join us tomorrow.
We thank the panel for joining. And I do want to give a meaning of a saying that we often hear, African booty scratcher. And the meaning for African booty scratcher is not that an African scratches their ass. It's meaning. The meaning for African booty scratcher is an African who scratches the oppressor ass. The African who scratches the colonizer ass. It's not who scratches his own self. It's the African.
I scratch my booty, lady. I do.
No. I just want everybody to know the real meaning.
Let us speak, because
and it wasn't for Africans. It was used during the enslavement all the way up to the 90s, and I guess it's still using now. But the meaning would never change. It is not you scratches your own ass, because we don't give a damn if your ass. We give a damn when you scratching the oppressor ass, and that's what we care about the most. We don't like even in our own lineage, the African booty scratcher. Do not scratch the oppressor ass. Go ahead and scratch your own ass. And that's what. And thank you for coming.
It's a lot of us that's down with the cause, man. For a lot of us, a lot of us know what's going on, man, but we just don't have that strength, that power, man. But we do. We know what's going on, guys. So that's what I gotta say, bro.
You do have that strength and power.
Yeah. Now that I know there's 223 million of y'all in Nigeria, I gotta look at y'all differently. I gotta really look at y'all and be like, what? Y'all accepting what? Y'all living in shanty towns? Why?
We do. It's a lot of.
I really gotta put y'all. I really gotta hold y'all to the truth.
Definitely.
You gotta look at the leadership. You gotta look at the leadership. The people is fighting against it. Then you look at the people on the land. It's a study.
It's a lot of stuff going on, man.
223 million of y'all.
It's even more than that. That's just the sense of the county. It's more than we're more than that.
Y'all better turn them tables over there, brother. I better hear of a revolution in Nigeria quick.
It's happening, man. It's gradually. It's happening.
You're not looking.
It's in the works, bro. It's in the works, man.
I need to be
tearing it up.
It's in the works, bro.
I wanted to say something to the Africans.
I need the youth to really turn it up.
It is in the works. Believe me.
They ain't worried about us.
And honestly, guys, and because we're not out there on ground, we are out here financially supporting them out there. Believe me, what we're doing out here.
But you're not financially supporting us out here.
But we do too. We do too. I mean, to the best of our ability. You gotta realize that changing dollar into naira, it will do more over there.
We know.
The next black museum.
We know the dollar amount. I know.
Hold on. The next black museum, the next black school, the next black person running for office, FBA running for office. I better see y'all support.
We're down, man. Just put out the news, man. I'm down. I've always been down, man. See, for the past 24 years.
We send our little coin over to Nigeria, and some of us ain't ever even been there, and we sent some coin over there.
Hey, man, we can't even vote from out there, man. Even push the vote from out there, for real.
You know what y'all need to be doing? Y'all need to be saying, listen, FBA, y'all want Nigeria to be more favorable to FBA. We got some candidates that we need y'all to support over here in Nigeria so we can change some parliament, and that might be an end for y'all. We can support something like that. We can help y'all turn over them tables by getting the right leaders in office, and it has to be a win for us though.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also give a clear narrative of the land mass and the demographics, because not everybody came from Africa. We were already here in the land mass.
We're no longer Pan-African.
Not to be offended at our truth.
Respect, and if y'all make it favorable to us, we can do a treaty and we can get it cracking. But we're looking to the Americas for our solution. Pan-Black American, that's who we are. We're looking to Americas for our solution. We don't really need anything over there in Africa, but if y'all get it together, cool. We like riders.
It's good.
At this moment, we are Pan-Black Americans. We're focusing on building up the America or America in itself. That's what we're focusing.
Africa will rise, man. It's a matter of time. It will.
It's a matter of time. One more thing about some time. Y'all still got to play catch up. Y'all 232 million.
Definitely, there's a lot of power. It's a lot of things going on, brother. It's not just a number.
It's decades behind us.
There's more than 233 million
y'all
of them.
They're over
100
to a small string. Y'all are
over 300
tied to a small string with a little peg in the ground. And all us Black Americans are telling you, can you just lift one foot up a little bit higher? Just take the left foot or the right foot and go an inch higher, and that peg's gonna come out, brother.
Def.
And you're gonna be free.
I think that number came from their armed youth that they were trying to stop from being armed with pew-pews. That's where that 200 and something million, because it's 200 something million armed youth. They're actually their demographics is more than 300 million.
Yeah, that's true. One thing too, man. We are down, man. My friends out here I have a lot of black American friends as well in California where I live at, and we get along, man. And we've been down together. You know, that's why lately for the past year, I'm like, man, I didn't even know this was happening behind closed doors. You know, we've been down together. You know, so
no. This is what's been happening. What's been happening behind closed doors.
Too much got to get out of here.
I do. We've been going on. What's that? What's the Clubhouse? And we've been hearing y'all say some of the most egregious things on Clubhouse. We've been on Twitter or X, and we've been hearing y'all say the most. See, we didn't even know what was happening. We didn't even know that we were being undermined. We started getting leaked information from politicians saying that they're having closed door meetings, and they're practicing, and Nigerians and Caribbeans are practicing anti-Black hatred. We're just now waking up to that, like, man, all this time we thought y'all was
true, that's bad. If that's
and
true,
now we're
that is
finding
bad,
out y'all
bro.
against us.
That's
So
bad.
that's all we're saying. Call out your tether class. That's all we're saying. Okay, y'all, I got to get out of here. I'm already behind. I got to get out of here. I got to rush now. I'm rushing now.
Thank you
y'all
too
have a
much.
good one. No problem. I'll
Too
be back
much.
tomorrow. Same time.
Yes, please. Go on and get out of there.
Let me get out of here. Y'all have a good one. Y'all take care. Too much. I'm out. Peace.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace, brothers.